North Southern California Cadillac dealers. What a game we have in store for you right here on Valley Sports. That man, Shohei Ohtani, is pitching, and he is hitting leadoff, and he leads the majors in home runs. And our second story is don't take story number one for granted. And trust me, we don't. Ohtani going against the AL's most powerful lineup. They lead the American League in homers, slugging, OPS, and we saw them bust out in a big way last night. Ohtani and the Angels looking for a series split against the Toronto Blue Jays. And welcome everybody to Angels Live. With a couple of World Series champions, it is Tim Salmon and Mark Gubaza, Patrick O'Neill here with you. I'm sorry.
I know you got a little edge going.
I'm
is perfect.
So pumped for this game. And this is, to me, and Tim, I'll go to you here first because I look for pitching in Shohei Ohtani in a matchup like this with this lineup. What are you more excited about? Can you get up for the pitching aspect, or you want to see him bat?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I think every time he goes out on the mound, we're looking to see that dominance. And I think what's been so impressive in this last handful of starts is just how he's become more of a pitcher. He's not striking out everybody. He's going out there learning how to throw his cutter for strikes, and he's dominating guys out there within the zone. Here's an interesting thing. His chase rate is just 21%, which is the 7th lowest in all Major League Baseball as far as starters go. So that tells me that he doesn't get to expand the zone. Guys aren't swinging outside the zone. He's beating him with this stuff over the heart of the plate. That is dominance. When a guy comes right at you and says, here it is, hit it, and these guys can't do it, that puts me in the category of some of the great pitchers going back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal. He is so creative. He changes pitches, his sequences throughout the game. It could be one pitch has working in the first inning, and then all of a sudden you look up in the 6th inning, his splitter is working. I mean, he's phenomenal what he does. He's throwing a lot more first pitch strike. He's getting a lot more quick outs, and he's getting deeper in the ball game.
And he's commanding, as you guys are saying, that fastball. And we're going to look at some of his pitching highlights. And I did ask Joe this. I said, when he's hitting last night, is he also focusing on how he's going to pitch to these guys the next day? We've never seen anything like this. What do you take? What's your take on his pitching here tonight?
Well, to me, I think he has a unique advantage because I think he understands from a hitter's standpoint. Well, first of all, let me back up. As a hitter, I'm always saying don't give the pitcher too much credit. And as a pitcher, they're saying don't give the hitters too much credit. But I think Shohei can learn from his own at-bats and where his holes are in his swings to recognize that, there are guys out there. What are their holes in their swing? I think he is paying attention to how other guys are swinging the bat. But I think in this series in particular, in this game tonight, what I'm looking forward to seeing the most is such a dominant offensive lineup. These guys, he's going to have to really navigate his way through. It's 1 through 9 stacked, and we're going to really see how good his stuff is, how good that slider is over the plate, how good that fastball is over the plate, based on what kind of swings these guys are going to take.
I really think it's helping him on the pitching side when he hits in the same game, because now you realize, as a pitcher, you realize how hard it is to hit. So now he's being more aggressive in the strike zone, and then when he makes those adjustments at the plate, kind of thinking along as a pitcher, it's making him a better hitter too. It's going to be fun to watch him do both things today. It's phenomenal when you think about it. Starting the game and hitting number 1 in the lineup against a very good pitcher, Jose Berrios, today for Toronto. It's going to be a blast.
Let's get to the go-tos for Ohtani pitching.
And for me today, my 2 big and most important things, my go-tos for Shohei Ohtani to be really, really good on the mound today is be creative with his secondary pitch. We mentioned it could be one pitch in the first inning, and then that pitch go back in the 6th inning. 80 strikeouts with his secondary pitch this year, and get those quick outs with his cutter. He hasn't got any strikeouts with his cutters this year, but he's gotten a lot of quick outs. He's thrown a lot of strikes with his cutter to get back in the counts and then finish off with his secondary pitches.
It's just one of these moments that just doesn't come around very often. 38 home runs this season. By the way, for a lefty batter in Angels history, Reggie Jackson back in '82, Kingfish. So he's 1 away. Let's see him tie that tonight. What do you think?
Well, when you say Kingfish, I wasn't there in '82 to see Reggie. I was wondering if that's where you're going with it, but
no, I'm not aging you that much.
Yeah,
you can say me though. But
Reggie Jackson, I mean, all-time great. I mean, holy cow, he's a Hall of Famer, and you're talking, he's 1 home run away from that. And what are we in, like mid-August? I mean, yeah, he's going to blow past that. His numbers this season on so many fronts across the board. He's just he's raising the bar in areas that we never thought could be raised.
I still think it's incredible. The fact is that the MVP candidate is on the mound versus the MVP candidate at the plate in Vlad Guerrero.
Yeah.
And it'll say, well, you've had that before with Kershaw going against MVPs, but he's the MVP because he's swinging the bat, too. So this is why this game here tonight is so cool to be able to see.
Would you lose any sleep if you knew you had to face this lineup tonight?
Yeah, they're very, very good. But when I watched them the last 3 games, and we saw them down in Dunedin, too, I think if you get ahead of the count, and we've seen that already in this series, if you get ahead of the count, they will expand out of the strike zone. They're not as patient. They swing at the first pitch a ton. They're third most in Major League Baseball as far as swing at the first pitch. So I think you can pitch to them. But if you fall behind in counts and force into fastballs in the strike zone, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, you know, and I'll say this. A lineup that deep wears out your pitching. And, I mean, you saw how quickly that game went from being tight to a blowout. I mean, it can happen that quickly if you just make one misstep in this lineup. And it wasn't even the big guys that, well, I mean, Hernandez is one of the big guys, but he's not the big, you know, you're not. My point is the middle part of that lineup is what did all the damage. And you know what? That's what can happen when you have such a deep lineup. That pitcher has got to stay, I mean, focused the entire game.
Pitchers love these moments. Anytime you're a pitcher, especially when you're an elite pitcher like Shohei Ohtani, when you're facing a lineup like this is what you want. You want to be challenged with the very best in the game, and I think right now you're going to see Shohei at his best here tonight.
Well, what an opportunity for a starting pitcher like this. I mean, this is going to be a great chance to see the very best in the game, and Shohei Ohtani going against the very best in the game, and Vladimir Guerrero. The hitter, Shohei Ohtani, Tim, do you think he's back? Is he out of the slump from, you know, where he was in coming out of that break?
Well, you know, I don't think he's out of the slump. I don't think he's completely out of the woods yet. But, you know, whenever you have a couple games where you start putting, you know, decent contact in the ball, you start swinging at strikes. He put a couple good passes in the ball last night. He got rewarded one home run and almost hit another one off the wall. So I think that's a good positive. I think, again, for Shohei, getting out of the woods is going to be just accepting the fact that, you know what, there's going to be times in the game they're not going to pitch to you. Don't expand the zone. And when he can get to that point, he's going to relax. And, you know, it's going to be frustrating because he wants to swing the bat. But, you know, you got to take what the game gives you.
Might as well work that walk and get a stolen base. He's just one stolen base away from Babe Ruth's record as far as pitching and hitting there. He had 17 stolen bases that one magical year. So maybe he'll be able to get that there tonight. This never doubt anything with Shohei Ohtani.
There's the list right there. It's really a two-man race, right? With Tatis Jr. injured, not sure when he's going to come back. Anything can happen. But, man, would it be something if Ohtani can lead the league in home runs and win, I don't know, 10, 11 games. I can't wait down the stretch. It is going to be fun to watch. Fan of the game. Love this game, and this is just one of those games
I think,
you get up
as you can
for.
tell by the way we're all talking, we are all fans of this game. We cannot wait for this game to start. This is going to be a lot of fun.
No doubt about it. Let's go to Rich Waltz right now. Is going to be calling the game alongside yourself, Mark, and Jose Mota. Have we gotten you pumped up, fairly pumped up, Rich, so far?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it. I mean, you're right. It's the best against the best tonight.
Let me ask you about the Blue Jays, and let's talk playoff probability for Toronto. I've got them, according to Fangraphs, wild card at 35%, rounding up just a tick, but to make the playoffs at 47.7. I don't know. It's kind of odd right there. Is it the bullpen that could potentially hinder them down the stretch, or do you feel they can make a run and catch some of these teams ahead of them?
I think the bullpen's not bad, but it doesn't stand out is probably what you're saying, and I agree with that. And we just heard Tim talk about how deep the lineup is. When managers or scouts talk about lineups, they use that word deep, or they talk about length. And last night was a good example. There's the wild card standings right now. They're not that far off. The Yankees right now are down 7-3 in the cornfield. So Toronto, I'm sure, is watching the scoreboard thinking they've got an opportunity. And Toronto has 7 games left with the Yankees. But, of course, Boston could falter. Oakland could falter as well. I think this Blue Jay team, if they get to the postseason, will be a dangerous team. And here's a few reasons why. Not only the lineup is the deepest and maybe it has the most length in the American League. Their starting rotation is really good. Alek Manoah last night, my goodness, you add him, you add Berrios. They weren't in the rotation last year, and I had the Blue Jays in the postseason last year. They lost to the Rays. They did not have those guys in their starting rotation, and I think that's a big difference this year. And the same thing goes for the youth. A lot of young players. 1 year of postseason experience. If they get back in this year, I think that'll really help them.
You know, Rich, they're going to play the East down the stretch quite a bit. I mean, they're going to have a chance to beat up on all those teams. I think the difference maker is going to be exactly what you just pointed to, the starting pitching. They're going to match up. They're not going to go through those lulls. I mean, you might lose one, maybe two, but you're not going to get on those extended losing streaks with that kind of starting pitching. And the other thing is this for me. I've been through a lot of Septembers. Bats slow down. But when you have that many good bats in the lineup, you're not going to slow down all 9 of them at one time. And I think that's going to be the difference maker. When you look at, like, the Red Sox, I mean, they got a pretty good offense, but, you know, they're starting to show some chinks in the armor there as well. The Yankees are starting to come around, but even some of the bats they got haven't really been swinging the bat like they expected. I think that's the difference maker for Toronto down the stretch.
Yes to both of those. I mean, and last night, look, Bo Bichette wasn't in the lineup. He's one of the best young hitters in the league, and they still hit 4 home runs. I think young bats, too, probably when you get to the end of September, aren't as tired as maybe the older bats. I didn't even mention Robbie Ray and Hyun-Jin Ryu in that rotation either. Those 4 starters going into the postseason, I think if Toronto gets there, they can do damage.
Strength of schedule down the stretch for the Blue Jays is 493, so a slight tick ahead some of those other teams. Rich, have fun tonight, man. We can't wait to watch this one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, Rich Waltz has it with Gooby and Jose. Jose Moda's going to join us when we come back, guys, from Moda Island. He's going to look at the matchup. Ohtani.
I'm sprinting up there. I'm coming upstairs.
Are you gone?
Yeah, I'm gone.
Oh,
I'm sprinting up there. I can't wait for this game.
Well, maybe just a fast walk. It's a little warmer.
Yeah, I got a new hand bike. Go faster.
Also, Jose Berrios is on the hill. It's going to be tough. How do you beat him? Stay right there. Everybody, Angels Live on Bally Sports is presented by your Southern California Cadillac dealers. Shohei Ohtani is pitching and hitting leadoff for the Halos against the Toronto Blue Jays, closing out a 4-game series and looking for a series split. Hello, everybody. Great to be with you. Love the Bally's desk. You got Shohei hitting, pitching against Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the 2 leading candidates for the MVP in the American League. And, Tim, let's go and bring in Jose Mota right now because Jose leading off is going to be Shohei against Jose Berrios. Now, we saw Berrios last time as a Twin before being traded to Toronto. That was that Sandoval game where he almost had the no-hitter. Berrios went 7, 2 runs, 0 earnings. So how does that help the Angels hitters against this tough ace for the Jays?
Well, I think they understand, Patrick and Tim, how tough Berrios really is, why the Jays got him. I mean, as Richards is talking about, it is a pretty solid rotation when you add him up. Now, this is a more refined and polished Berrios than when he was with the Twins, a couple of years ago. Again, this guy's a 2-time All-Star. He goes out there, and the idea is to play catch. Look at this simplicity. He can go out there and front door some breaking balls, which he did a lot over in that game and left some out over the play. The Angels capitalized a couple of times, but then he found it. Glove side, he'll start middle. It'll wipe into the back of the left-handed batter's foot, and he'll run the fastball back. One pitch that nobody talks about too much about Berrios, as we see him warm up here, his changeup. His changeup is such a great weapon, but he's one of those guys, Tim, that understands that he does not show it very early in the game because obviously, it's one of those things that you're going to pull out when you're in trouble. He's done a fantastic job. Very, very low average against that changeup. Very low exit velocity and barrels against them all throughout the season.
You know, Jose, he's got one of the highest line drive rates against that elevated fastball. 37% leads baseball. So here's my take. If I'm a hitter, I got to make him get that fastball up, take away that ability for it to sink. But the bigger thing is this. He loves his curveball. He's very dominant on his curveball. My take has always been when I face somebody that's that dominant, that likes it that much, that's the pitch that I'm going to go and try to take away from them. So I'm almost going to kind of anticipate it, look for it a few times in some situations. I think that's the key. If you could get that curveball, neutralize that curveball, and let him, let the other pitches come back to you, I think that's part of the success.
Jose, let me bring up this matchup, Ohtani versus Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So how do you think, listen, the Angels pitching staff's done well against Vladdy. How do you think Ohtani's going to approach this?
Ohtani, the student, the very cerebral pitcher, is going to go out there and go with strength. The Angels pitchers have done a very good job against Vladdy Jr. 0 for his last 7, only 1 for 12 in this series. Patrick, fastballs in early and then finish him off. And the ability that Shohei has to finish Vladdy off with pitches off the plate, he possesses with different directions in terms of where the ball's going, different velocities and location. He can go out there and throw the cutter. He can throw the fastball up in the zone, down in the zone, obviously the splitter, and the slider, which to me continues to be, at this point, his best pitch. Also, for Vladdy Jr., be aware, yes, he wants fastballs. He's missing fastballs this series, but Shohei has been saving some of his best fastballs for later in the game. So overall, it could be a very long night for Vladdy Jr. as Papa Vladdy watches with a party back in the Dominican.
Well, when I look at Vladdy, this guy is one of the greatest hitters in the game right now. I think the Angels have been fortunate to hold him to a 1 for 12. I think he's a very dangerous hitter going into this game because I think he is going to rise. He's going to rise to the occasion as well. Ohtani's going to have to bear down, continue to pound his fastball inside him. I think that has been the key to the success for this Angel pitching staff, is establishing that fastball. Even when it's not a strike, just get him so conscious inside that it really neutralizes the outer half of the plate. All power hitters, when they get their hands extended, get their arms extended, he's had 12 home runs off the off-speed pitch this year. He knows how to hit them. But I tell you what, you make a hitter like him, make him turn on that fastball and try to keep it fair, that's going to open up that outer half of the plate. I think they got to stick to that recipe tonight.
Jose, before we disembark Moda Island, can you kind of set the scene inside with this great matchup with Ohtani on the hill? Is there a vibe being generated yet?
Yes, and it started when Shohei took the field earlier, about 20 minutes ago. He has the longest routine ever for a starting pitcher because he is so diligent and so determined to make sure he crosses every step and checks every box. He's an attention getter wherever he goes. Every step he takes, he goes through his routine. He knows exactly what he needs to do, how many pitches, the weight ball, the velocity against the wall. All those things are important to him. But yeah, for sure, between the music, the vibe, and some of the new Ohtani shirts from last night, it's quite special in here.
I promise you this, that if I had that many people staring at me trying to throw a baseball, it would not go well.
Patrick, you have so many people staring at you every single night, right behind the desk. What are you talking about?
I'm not throwing a baseball, though. All I'm doing is talking.
Shohei can't do what you do, by the way. Just so you know.
I got him there. Jose, thank you so very much. Have fun down there. Can't wait to get your take during the ball game of what we're about to witness. Thank you.
You got it, guys.
Jose Mota right there. I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. This is going to be excellent.
How about those Ohtani shirts? How about all those faces looking at you? That looks a little...
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm going to put mine on next time, and I'm just going to stare at you and see if you can concentrate.
Which one do I look at?
All right, so listen, we're going to show you the lineups for both of these teams, and I want Tim's take on this Jays lineup, how dangerous they could be. He has something to say about Teoscar Hernandez, but the Angels lineup is next.
How the Angels got here with all the moves they made. They have
Meet Justin Upton. He's watching MLB Network.
Again, the lineup got deeper.
Because that's what baseball fans do.
They're deep. They're deep.
It's time for MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run, presented by MLB Network, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Give the kids in your community a chance to compete in the 2021 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals by hosting a local competition. Sign up for free at pitchhitrun.com.
Angels Live on Valley Sports, brought to you by Wingstop. Sauced and tossed, classic wings, crispy tenders, juicy, boneless wings. Order them all at wingstop.com. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Toronto Blue Jays closing out a 4-game set against your Angels. And here's what Joe Madden is going with tonight against Jose Berrios. Leading off and leading all of baseball in home runs and pitching is Shohei Ohtani, followed by David Fletcher. Jared Walsh back in there feeling good after his return last night. Gosselin, Upton and left. Iglesias back at short. Joe Adell, Brandon Marsh, 4 Ks last night, but Joe's going right back to him, which is a good thing. And Kurt Suzuki behind the dish. Stassi checked out okay, and he should be able to catch if needed tonight after getting that fastball last night. For Joe Adell, Tim Salmon, you spoke with him earlier. He led all of the minors in home runs, but yet he's making adjustments here at the show. What are you noticing?
Well, big adjustments from last year. What I'm noticing right away is he's just more selective at the plate. He's showing some patience at the plate. That comes with maturity. That comes with all the struggles he had last year. He realized, hey, I've got to do some things differently. He talked about going up there and being more selective and hitting pitches that he thinks he could be more selective with. More
aggressive,
and have more success against than going up there and just trying to cover strikes because the pitcher threw it. And we've talked about that. I mean, as a hitter, you have to be selective. You got to hunt your zone. The pitches that are in your zone are the ones that you're going to be the most successful with. If you start expanding that zone and hitting a pitcher's pitch, you're going to make outs. And that's what he really did last year. And he was really even swinging at balls outside the zone. So much more selective this year, being a lot more patient at the plate.
I think this is the Joe Adell that we were expecting to see last year. So much expectations. He's so much better defensively, too.
Yeah.
So
the whole game, whole package. Yep.
Everything about Joe Adell, it's really clicking in the right direction. It's great to see. Great to see there. So we're going to see Ohtani versus Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and we'll show you the Jays lineup when we come back.
Covers the show like MLB Network.
Put a star by that one.
Turn on baseball's best with over 200 live games all season.
Oh my goodness!
Catch live look-ins every night on MLB Tonight.
Oh baby!
Plus breakdowns and highlights of your team, my team, every team.
And gone!
Bring home our national pastime all the time. Only on MLB Network.
Mike Trout. People know he's one of the greatest players this game's ever seen.
Meet Mike Trout.
Can run.
He's watching MLB Network.
He's one of the nicest people you're ever going to meet.
Because that's what baseball fans do.
And he's also got tremendous show hair with his hat off.
Every time he takes the field, he competes not only against the other team, but against the toughest adversary, himself. MLB Tonight, where the best outdo their best on MLB Network.
Angels baseball and Valley Sports is brought to you by your Southern California Cadillac dealers. We are closing in on first pitch here at the Big A. It's a big game between the Angels and the Jays. If the Angels get this win tonight behind Shohei Ohtani pitching and hitting, then you can be like Mark Gubicza and get some free French fries with just a $1 medium purchase. Nobody eats French fries like Mark Gubicza. You can do that also. Just download that Mickey D's app. Here's the batting order for the Jays. Springer. Simeon is very good. Vlad Jr. Yeah, I want to ask you, Tip Salmon, about Teoscar Hernandez. Maybe this guy's kind of underappreciated, but this Dominican is very, very good.
He's a great hitter, and I mean, we really had to do a deep dive last night in our own little watching of the game. Like, okay, where's this guy coming from? He's hitting 321 off the fastball and 287, off the off-speed pitch. But okay, here we are at Springer. I'm just going to say this about Springer: all the booing he's getting, he's a professional hitter. That stuff doesn't faze him. You throw back-to-back curveballs on him, he's going to make you hurt. You throw fastballs inside, he's going to make you hurt as well. So Springer's just, he's really coming into his own this season. He's been hurt quite a bit, but, he's going to be a big difference maker.
Okay, so for Springer, and I kind of went out of order there, and I apologize, but to be booed like that, like he is, and then to come through and hit, is that something, that you can play? I'm not saying that they booed you like this, but they probably did at times in New York or Boston. Do you feed off it?
Well, if it's just one place, it can be a little bit of a hostile deal, but I think he's getting it everywhere he goes. Yeah. I think it's probably becoming normal for him. That first at bat, it's always probably a little bit more in his mind. We saw him expand the zone a little bit, but, he settles in, and he's a professional hitter. I mean, this guy can really tee it up, and I'm telling you, some of the at-bats he started taking, yesterday with the home runs, I mean, that's the Springer we're used to seeing, and it's unfortunate for everybody in baseball.
Ohtani has his work cut out for him, with Springer leading off, Simeon, Vlad Guerrero Jr., but they got their work cut out for him as well. First pitch is coming up.
How the Angels got here with all the moves they made. They have
Meet Justin Upton.
This is Mike Sosa.
He's watching MLB Network.
Again, the lineup got deeper.
Because that's what baseball fans do.
They're deep. They're deep.
It's time for MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run, presented by MLB Network, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Give the kids in your community a chance to compete in the 2021 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals by hosting a local competition. Sign up for free at pitchhitrun.com.
To the nerd life. Welcome to the nerd life.
It's all about the numbers on MLB Now, only on MLB Network.
Welcome to the nerd life.
The heart of your team. The heart of LA. Valley Sports West. The heart of the fan. Baseball is an individual sport played in a team setting. At its core, the foundation of America's pastime is the one-on-one battle between pitcher and batter.
Got him.
It's exceedingly rare that the two players in that battle are the two best in the game.
Swing and a miss.
For as good as Shohei Ohtani has been in the batter's box,
Ohtani, gone!
He's been just as dominant on the mound.
Fastball!
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is the one player who has matched Ohtani swing for swing.
God, Vladdy Guerrero!
The second-generation sensation would be running away with the most valuable player award if not for the two-way superstar.
Ohtani, way up there!
Tonight, they go one-on-one for the first time. The MVP battle starts now.
Baseball is presented by your Southern California Honda dealers. What a night at the Big A. Angels, Blue Jays, end of a 4-game set. MVP candidate against MVP candidate. Shohei Ohtani on the mound. And oh, by the way, he will lead off for the Angels in the bottom of the first. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Mark Gubaza and Jose Mota. It's so unique that you almost pinch yourself every time this happens with Ohtani making a start, especially in this setting, especially against Vladdy Jr. And Ohtani's in a real groove on the mound.
Yeah, Rich, he is throwing the ball exceptionally well. You go back to his last 4 games, 3-0 with the ERA 1.38. He's throwing the ball very, very well. All his pitches are working. Just 1 walk, 23 strikeouts in 26 innings pitched. He is dominating the strike zone. He's got those great secondary pitches working, but his cut fastball has been good. He's been getting a lot of quick outs and getting deep in the ball game. So he's been throwing the ball well. I can't wait for him to do that and then take that first as far as swinging the bat.
All right, time to do our Home Depot getting more done. The lineup he's facing is ferocious, the best in the American League, maybe the best in Major League Baseball, and the Jays have shown it first in home runs and in OPS. All the other categories, they're right up there.
Yeah, and when you look at the first 3 in this lineup today, Rich, it's going to be a tough one for Shohei Ohtani. George Springer has been crushing the baseball since the All-Star break. 350 batting average with 11 home runs and OPS of 1226. Like a Simeon, the only player in Major League Baseball with 125 plus hits and 25 or more home runs. So he's crushing the ball, getting on base, and then you get the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading baseball as far as OPS at 10-24. 35 home runs. It's not going to be easy for Shohei, but I believe he will rise to the challenge today.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see Vladdy Jr. against Shohei Ohtani. I'm pretty sure this has never happened in Major League history where MVP candidates in these positions have met. Jose Mota's got more on that. Jose?
Hey, Rich, you mentioned it. It is so unique. You know, at the same time, it is historic. Consider that 2 young faces, 2 outstanding players, the best sluggers in the game go head-to-head. Now, consider that, obviously. Vladdy Jr. told me before this matchup, before the series, I got to make sure that I see strikes, that I swing at strikes. But the Angels have held him back. 0 for his last 7, only 1 for 12 this series. And for Shohei Ohtani, what a great challenge to continue on what the Angels pitchers have done and busting that fastball inside and spreading the zone. So, you know what? About 3,148 miles away, there's a party going on, thrown by Big Daddy Vladdy, Daddy Sr., and he is hoping that a guy on the mound and with a bat does not spoil the form, but he's hoping also to get his son going in the right direction here at the ballpark where he dominated for so long.
That's right. Dad was an MVP, Jose. Maybe son someday. This year, though, Shohei Ohtani, the leader of the clubhouse. He takes aim at the Blue Jays, and Vladdy Jr. Stick around.
Future.
The ballpark is better when we're all here together.
COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Join the team and help us all get back to doing what we love together.
I'm Lorenzo Cain, and you can catch me robbing home runs on MLB Tonight.
I'm Bill Ripken, and you can catch me talking about those robbed home runs on MLB Tonight.
MLB Tonight, where baseball's best players are side by side with TV's best baseball analysts.
Mike Trout, people know he's one of the greatest players this game's ever seen.
Meet Mike Trout.
Can run.
He's watching MLB Network.
He's one of the nicest people you're ever going to meet.
Because that's what baseball fans do.
And he's also got tremendous show hair with his hat off.
On his way to the mound. So good at home. 4-0 with a 1.79 ERA.
Throwing the ball well. Attacking the strike zone effectively with his fastball and his secondary pitches. It's going to be a lot of fun to see Shohei tonight. My go-tos to have that successful night. Keep this string of great pitching in line is being creative with his secondary pitches. If one's not working early, use the other, and then come back to it later in the game. 80 strikeouts on his secondary pitches and get some quick outs with his cutter. He's got a lot of ground balls with his cutter this year. Not many strikeouts, contact hits, and getting some quick outs.
He's never faced the Toronto Blue Jays, and this is the lineup he will face. Again, Bo Bichette is out. He's listed as day-to-day. George Springer, 2 homers last night. Marcus Semien at short. Vladdy Jr. slotted third. Teoscar Hernandez is a beast in the cleanup spot. Corey Dickerson, Randall Grichuk, Breivik Valera at second. Santiago Espinal is at third. And Reese McGuire, very good receiver, is behind the plate for Charlie Montoyo's Blue Jays. Angels defensively, Upton, Marsh, and Joe Adell. Phil Goslin, Jose Iglesias back in. David Fletcher at second. Great to see Jared Walsh on back-to-back nights, and Kurt Suzuki is behind the plate. Max Stassi is okay, and he's available if needed to pinch hit or come in defensively. He caught a fastball on the forearm last night.
And Phil Goslin at third base making his 9th start, especially with that contact pitch, the cutter. You're going to see some action your way at third base, and Phil Goslin getting that opportunity to play here at third base tonight.
Well, the 2 guys that you want to see, Vladdy Jr., MVP candidate, Shohei Ohtani, MVP candidate. They are above and beyond the rest of the field in the American League. Warm reception for George Springer, and he swings at the first pitch and hits a sky-high pop down the left field line and out of play. Tim Salmon said it best on Angels Live. You can boo George Springer all you want, but he's a professional hitter. He last night cut through a lot of that with a solo homer in the 3rd and in the 9th.
A lot of hitters, especially aggressive on the first pitch, and Shohei should play in the way he's pitching lately, getting some quick outs on the first or second pitch.
Springer is one of the few Blue Jays that has faced Ohtani. He is 4 for 6 with a home run. But the rest of the Blue Jays, albeit Marcus Semien has some ABs, have not seen him. He's never faced this team. Springer, Semien, and Vlad Jr. here in the first.
Yeah, Springer with some real good numbers. You can tell by that hack early on, 0 for 2. I mean, 0 and 2 count, but he's 4 for 6 with a home run. So we can get him to chase on something as far as a secondary pitch here.
Well, that split is a swing and miss pitch. Big time.
What'd you say about a split being a swing and miss pitch?
Big time.
Great splitter. And that's a pitch he hasn't thrown a lot of late, especially early in the game. It's a good one. Right down. Looks like a strike. Ends up out of the strike zone. Expanded the zone. Got ahead of the count 0-2 and finished off a hitter that's had success against him. You don't see a lot of rotation in the scenes when you have a good splitter work, and that was exactly what he threw.
Hitters are hitting .083 on the splitter. 54 strikeouts on that pitch. And here's Semien, the former Oakland Athletic, who's having a great year in Toronto, and a fastball backs him up. Semien at shortstop, where he has been his whole career until this year, with Bo Bichette out with the bruised shins on each side from foul balls. Semien has slid over back to his normal spot. And Ohtani pours across the strike. It's 1-1. J.R. Valentine, young umpire. Behind the plate, Jerry Meals, Jansen Visconti, and Ed Hickox.
Shohei is such a smart pitcher. He knows that Marcus Semien likes to hit the fastball early. Give him a cutter, followed by another cutter.
Hit hard, diving catch. Goslin.
You know the goose has got to be loose at third. He gets that line drive his way. Able to control that baseball in the glove.
And here it is, the matchup that is just so unique, improbable. An MVP candidate, the numbers speak for themselves with Guerrero Jr. offensively. The numbers speak for themselves with Ohtani offensively, and you add the pitching, 6-1 with a 2.93. That's an incredible MVP resume. Ground ball. Goslin can't get it. It's into left field. Just the second hit this 4-game series for Vladdy Jr.
So right now you're seeing the Jays identifying the fact that Shohei's been throwing a lot more first pitch strikes, and he's throwing his cut fastball a lot first pitch. Vladdy Jr. got a ground ball just by Goslin at third base. It will be contact with that pitch, but not a lot of hits against his cutter.
There you go. I like it. A little tip of the cap. I think both these guys enjoy this and have incredible respect for each other.
He got to hang out at the All-Star game.
Well, this guy was at the All-Star game as well. Teoscar Hernandez. 0-1.
They are up there hacking at the first pitch. When you look at numbers for Shohei this year, when he gets to that 0-2 count and the hitter goes to make a pass at it, this is 0 for 34.
Oh, that's a great sight.
With 26 strikeouts, and then you got Springer on that.
0-1. Jimmy Johns, the freaky fresh take. Highest first pitch swing percentage. Blue Jays are right there, second in the American League, third in Major League Baseball. It's got to be a fun hitters meeting when the hitting coach says, boys, today we're going after the first pitch.
And overall, hitters have had some success against Ohtani swing at the first pitch and put in play. 305 batting average.
Two and one. Ohtani on this mound has been just incredible. His home ERA 1.79. His last start on the road, of course, 86 pitches, 6 strikeouts, no walks, 2-1 win at Texas.
With that cutter up upstairs. I've seen that around baseball quite a bit. A cut fastball, the upper third of the strike zone. Hitters read that, think it's kind of a flat slider, but it's enough on it velocity-wise to get it by you or pop it up.
Vladdy Jr. at first with a 2-out single. Just underway. Teoscar Hernandez. Ohtani with a 2-2 pitch. That just missed.
That's borderline almost a strikeout. Real close at 94.
Full count. 3-2. Corey Dickerson's on deck. Three-two. Shallow left. That's Upton coming in. And he makes the catch. Shohei Ohtani got to get back to the dugout. He's leading off.
My new money goal?
My new money goal?
We've got money goals.
Buy a place closer to my family down south.
Invest in Black-owned companies.
Invest in green companies.
Invest for my daughter's future and my retirement at the same time.
Have a better credit card
than her.
Whatever your money goals, NerdWallet knows the smartest ways to make them happen. Compare and find the smartest credit cards, mortgages, and investing accounts on NerdWallet. For all your money questions, turn to the nerds.
When we started our company, we simply wanted better sheets. But along the way, we've realized that softer, safer, organic cotton does so much more for the planet and for humanity. It helps your home become a force for good, because home is more than just an address. Home is our soul. Boll & Branch, organic sheets, bath, and home. Right now, get 20% off your purchase at bollandbranch.com.
Angels lineup as assembled by Joe Madden. Shohei Ohtani quickly getting the gloves on. He's leading off. David Fletcher slotted second. Jared Walsh back for the second straight night. Phil Gosselin, Justin Upton, Jose Iglesias. Joe Adell has looked good this last week. Brandon Marsh trying to make some adjustments today during batting practice. We'll see if that works out. And Kurt Suzuki in the 9 spot. It's not easy to come in after pitching, get all the gloves on, get the elbow pad on, get the right helmet, and get to the plate. And by the time he arrives, Jose Berrios is already done with his warm-up tosses.
And a guy that can throw 92, 97 with a great curveball and changeup. My go-to is to have success against Berrios tonight is you got to barrel up that 4-seam fastball, 7 home runs, a slugging percentage of .528 versus 4-seamer. And swinging that curve only if it's a strike. He gets a lot of chases out of the strike zone. We'll look at that throughout this game, how difficult it is not to chase out of the zone because it is a sharp break below the strike zone consistently.
Angels have seen him twice, and in 12 innings, he's given up just 3 earned runs. He was on the losing end of the near no-no by Patrick Sandoval the last time they saw him. Ohtani in the box, and here we go. On days that he starts, he really doesn't do a whole lot of hitting. Most of his hitting this year has been indoors in the cage, some drills. But when he starts, sometimes, hey, just let me go get loose.
A warm night like tonight, you're already loose from throwing in the bullpen to go pitch. Still remember back in an April game against the White Sox in which he started the game and batted second and hit a home run in the first inning after going a pretty quick first inning.
That's a strike. One of the things Joe Madden said today that he really liked about last night, aside from the home run, is that he accepted a walk. And that's a curious way to say he took a walk. He accepted a walk, and he said that's a great sign.
And a couple two-seamer sinkers, one on the inside part of the plate, one fading away. Usually that means he's setting him up to try to throw a changeup. 1-2 count.
3 for 10 with a home run against Berrios is Ohtani. Left center, in the gap, off the wall. Ohtani on his way to second.
That is a great swing. The home run was great last night, but I love that swing right there from Shohei Ohtani going inside out. He hits a rocket to left center. His 25th double, 68th extra base hit for Ohtani. And Vlad Jr. going, wow. Yeah, that just went flying right by me. He just went, whew. This is fun already. Vlad Jr. with a base hit, Shohei Ohtani with a double.
112 miles an hour in the opposite gap. Fletcher now. Angels trying to get on the board. Fletcher, a little pop-up back behind first. Guerrero and Valera. It's Guerrero, and he drops it. And it rolls in foul territory. Ohtani got a late start. He arrives at third.
Yeah, you have to wait to see if he's going to catch that. That's good base for anybody, Ohtani. You don't want to spend too much energy. It's the second time in this series a pop-up. It's going to go back to the fact that second baseman almost has to call off Vlad Jr.'s easier play. Valera going over to make the play as compared to Vlad Jr. going back on it. You know, off the heel of the glove and pops away from him. And Fletch picks up a hit. His 136th hit of the season.
At the corners, Walsh now. Infield straight up for him. And Berrios, who has an outstanding pickoff move, just keeping Fletcher close.
Yeah, when you see a right-handed pitcher with 11 career pickoffs, yeah, that's a good move. Just one stolen base allowed and 5 caught stealing. For a right-handed pitcher, that's outstanding numbers.
Walsh 1 for 4 last night. Berrios trying to catch the corner, misses out.
It's a big at bat for Jared Walsh and the Angels on a couple fronts. You want to get Shohei Ohtani in as quick as possible, allow him to sit down and relax in the dugout, but it also gives you a lead.
Ohtani double. Fletcher singled. Infield's back. It's way outside. The absence of Walsh, 15 games away from the lineup. And the team averaged just over 3 runs a game when he was gone, and that's not good. But to have him back now is a nice shot in the arm for everybody, including Ohtani.
It's that fastball upstairs. Against Jared Walsh, you're seeing that between Brandon Marsh and Jared Walsh. A lot of fastballs from right-handed pitchers above the strike zone.
Boy, the Angels saw some really good high fastballs last night. Alek Manoah, the rookie, was dominant last night. Struck out 11. There he is. He's a frontline starter. If this team gets to the postseason, they've got the rotation to go deep. And Berrios is one reason why. He's a frontline starter that came over from Minnesota on a deadline trade.
He was able to drop that curveball in and get the lower part of the strike zone. Now with the 2-2 count, he's got 2 options. Either go back with another curveball a little bit below the strike zone or try to ride a fastball up. It's going to be important for Jared Walsh to make contact. A lot of room on the left side of the infield. Made a mistake on that one. That got a lot more of the plate than he wanted to. Good swing by Walsh.
The Berrios curveball is not an average curveball. The average curveball in Major League Baseball has a 9-inch break. His is 15.
And it's one of the hardest curveballs, too, averaging 83.1 miles per hour. Third fastest as far as velocity on a curveball.
Ohtani cracked a double to open it. Fletcher singled him to third. Walsh pops it up back behind the mound. Calling for it is Berrios, and he makes the catch. So Berrios is the one that makes the catch.
Let's take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. What he has gotten with his strikeouts on his curveball. And we're talking about how he gets so many swings well out of the strike zone. He'll throw some of those curveballs in, but look how far out of the strike zone and majority of the curveballs are for strikeouts. That tells you how quick and late that break is at the very end to get swing and misses.
And look at the usage, fourth highest, the punch outs, and you were right on with the velocity of that curveball. Because that velocity almost pushes it into slider territory. Now Goslin. Goslin in the cleanup spot. A couple hits in this series.
Goslin's looking for something he can hit deep enough in the air, keep off the ground. Berrios has had 6 double plays turned behind him. Goslin's trying to hit something in the air to get the job done.
And if you want to run here to avoid the double play, remember the pickoff move by Berrios. And McGuire throws well.
Interesting, a lot of the hitters for the Angels early today, I'm talking real early, were working on bunting. And they had a pitching machine out there real close, throwing extremely hard and throwing breaking balls, and they were tracking, learning, make sure they got the bunt down.
Well, this is a Joe Madden first and third special. And remember, you've got Guerrero holding the runner. And if you bunt it, that's where you want it, in that direction. Counts 2-0.
.84% of the time this year he's run a fastball.
That was the 16%, and he missed, and so now the count's 3-0. And if you're Goslin,
I think Joe Madden's going to give him the green light here. If he's getting a fastball, which he more than likely will get, he's going to have confidence that he's going to swing into pitches he can hit and drive.
That is in, and the bags are loaded. Justin Upton and Berrios now with 1 out. Upton has seen Berrios for 12 at-bats, has 2 hits, one of those a home run. And obviously the Angels want a ball to be punched over through the infield and get a run home at the very least.
Upton's been really, really good on the first pitch this season. .516 with 5 home runs. You have to try to get a first pitch over, see if you can get that at first pitch and drive it.
Breaking ball for a strike, bottom of the zone. Outfield playing Upton to right center. You got really good speed out there for the Angels. Ohtani, Fletcher, Goslin, the trail runner at first, can run. Fastball was in on the hands. Just like that, it's 0-2.
Upton real good on breaking pitches. More than likely we'll see a breaking pitch here. He's got to make sure it's at least in the strike zone.
.02. McGuire knocks it down. Two starts as a Blue Jay for Berrios. Kansas City and Boston, 12 innings combined, 1 run. Those his last 2 starts. Bags are loaded here with 1 out. Upton pops it up. Vladdy, infield fly, makes the catch. So after Ohtani and Fletcher set the table, a pop-up by Walsh on the infield, a walk to Goslin, a pop-up by Upton on the infield, and here is Iglesias.
And Shohei Ohtani has been on his feet this entire inning. After facing 4 batters, a tough 4 batters to start the game, hits a double. He's been standing on third for a long time. His good buddy, Jose Iglesias, trying to come through, give him a little bit of a breather here, getting a base hit, and bring him home.
Pitches in. Iglesias got a breather last night and desperately needed it. Joe Mann has been waiting to get Fletcher and Iglesias off their feet for a night. And finally, with Walsh's return, he was able to do that. Mayfield played short last night. Now Mayfield in need of a day off. He gets this game off. 1-0. That's out. You can see McGuire try to snap it back, and the young umpire stuck both calls. And Iglesias hearing from the Blue Jay dugout, where'd that miss?
And the umpire, Jose Iglesias, that's a little bit off the play. About half baseball to play.
It's a great count.
Got to get over 95-mile-an-hour fastball, 2-0.
Two and 1. 2 outs. Breaking ball, that's popped up. And the Angels, 3 infield pop-ups, and they leave them loaded in the first.
Sometimes you want the adventure, but sometimes you want the shortcut. With Home Chef Fast and Fresh, all you need is a microwave or oven. And just enough time to heat, eat, and repeat. Who said food can't be fast and home-cooked? Probably someone who never tried Fast and Fresh. Effortlessly create home-cooked meals like a pro with no prep and no mess. Delicious, meat simple. Get $80 off your first month at homechef.com.
This is cellulose acetate, a plant-based material that's not only extremely durable, but also quite flexible, making it ideal for Warby Parker glasses, which, by the way, start at $95, including prescription lenses. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com. Oh yeah, about those prescription lenses. Warby Parker glasses come standard with custom-cut polycarbonate lenses that have been treated with scratch-resistant and anti-reflective coatings. Nice. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
No score, top of the second inning. A highly anticipated matchup, not only here stateside, but also worldwide, especially back in the Dominican Republic, where 3,100 miles away. This is Vladdy Sr. watching the moment. He's in the center, by the way. He said, no party, I need to concentrate and watch this matchup. And yes, there's a little clapping right here. His nephew, one of his brothers next to him, and gets on the phone immediately to text mom. Say, yep, mom, he got a base hit against Shohei Ohtani. That is very special.
That's pretty cool. We've got Vladdy Cam with us tonight.
We'll find you anywhere, Rich.
Yep. Well, they both had hits in their first at-bats. That single by Vladdy Jr. to left. Ohtani's ringing double into the gap in left center. Berrios with an escape in the bottom of the first. Corey Dickerson, Randall Grichuk Breivik Valera for the Blue Jays.
It's a big inning for Ohtani, standing out there at the base for a long time. And they have some momentum as Berrios got through that inning with no runs allowed.
That's a strike. Dickerson also acquired near the trading deadline. Adds some pop from this side of the plate. Kevin Biggio, another piece of this team who's been out and nagged by a back injury all year, reported for minor league games today.
And when you look at this lineup, no Gurriel, no Bichette, no Biggio. That's how deep this Blue Jay lineup is.
Ball and a strike to Dickerson. You made note of Ohtani on base, and managing that as a pitcher is really tough. I don't think fans, even broadcasters, have any idea what it takes to manage pitching every 6 days and playing every day.
And even go back to the first inning, not only you have to go out and have all that energy in the bullpen to the game mound, you're the leadoff hitter and you're on base the whole time.
That one's in the air. Goslin over. It's just beyond his reach. Look, you went through it for a long time in the major leagues. The routine of a starting pitcher, the physical toll it takes on your body, the mental toll, and all the things you do to recover and all the things you do to prepare. That's a busy time between starts.
Yep. And you watch the way Shohei Ohtani pitches, Rich. I mean, he's a guy that uses his lower half and drives towards the plate. Right? So then you're putting a lot of pressure on your legs, your core, and obviously your side and your throwing arm, your shoulder. And then you're swinging the bat, and then you're running the bases. And he got to second base quickly after that line drive, and then you work your way to third. So there's all kind of routines as a pitcher that it's not even taking into effect what you're doing, swinging the bat and getting on base. You'll see some of the pitchers, obviously, in the National League do that. But they're not batting leadoff. After you finish off an inning, you're already running in there, and you're grabbing a bat and going to the batter's box, and you hit a double right away.
Yeah, they're not in the hitters' meetings before every series, as Ohtani is. And Joe Madden is the perfect manager to do this. He's very creative. He's open to new ideas. And he said everything he's done with Ohtani has been by feel.
And great communication.
Iglesias backhand. And a quick feed over to Walsh.
Well, my Hyundai key for the game tonight going Phil Collins. No jacket required. And we know why. You want to make sure you stay away from bringing that jacket out with a home run. So no jacket required tonight for the victory for the Angels. I knew you would like that one, Rich.
I was. You know, there are some good dugout celebrations around the league. This is a pretty creative one, right? It's hanging there. You just wanted to keep it on the hanger.
Yes, and this allow them to pack that up and take it away on the road trip.
Grichuk pumps one into the seats, foul. Randall Grichuk, fourth year as a Blue Jay. Breivik Valera, the switch hitting second baseman, is on deck. Center field. That's Marsh. 2 down. It's a big game for the Blue Jays, and certainly a big game for the Angels as well. Wild card situation has Toronto right on the necks of the Yankees. Of course, the Yankees down last we checked.
And the Red Sox lost tonight, or earlier today, against Tampa, 8-1.
White Sox 7-4, top 8 over the Yankees right now. Valera takes a pitch just up.
So we've seen 95 and 97 already tonight for Shohei Ohtani.
He's hit 100 9 times this year. His hardest pitch 101. And one of those 100-mile-an-hour pitches was at the end of one of his starts. I think it was the 7th inning, and he just dialed it up and walked off the mound.
Yeah, last 2 games, his hardest pitch he has thrown was his last pitch of the game. So he's saving it for the right moment.
It's just in. And it's 3-0. Flair's had some big hits. Blue Jays, I mean, I think you'd fool a lot of people asking who's the hottest team in the American League and in Major League Baseball after the All-Star break. And these are the guys. There's a strike outside corner. (29-16) in their last 45. Ohtani, 3-1. Right field, Adele. Got it!
Good jump, good angle. Joe Adele getting more comfortable in the outfield with a smile with his buddy. Brandon Marsh, nice play. Joe Adele running it down.
It's time for MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run, presented by MLB Network, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Give the kids in your community a chance to compete in the 2021 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals by hosting a local competition. Sign up for free at pitchhitrun.com.
Time now for our Kia player profile, Joe Adele. Last year, he's really cleaned it up. Contact percentage is up, OPS is up. And Joe Madden just is so proud of the adjustments that he's made, the work he put in. He squares off against Jose Berrios. Brandon Marsh, Kurt Suzuki, also in the second.
Berrios, a live arm, running that 2-seamer inside corner at the knees. Though it throws that pitch again to Joe Adele, I'm thinking it's going to be good contact here.
You could see McGuire snap the glove up to try to capture a strike.
And that wasn't a bad pitch, a changeup. That was maybe a half a baseball below the strike zone. If you leave it there, you might get a call. See how much he brought that up? That's just barely below the strike zone, as gives the umpire a feeling that he missed his spot.
I'll tell you what, this young umpire is pretty good.
Yep.
I mean, there's been a lot of borderline calls already. Like that one. I mean, those are not easy to call as an umpire. You got a rookie at the plate as well. And they're all balls. A quick word from GMC.
The world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available on the GMC Sierra. We are professional grade GMC.
By the way, keep an eye right now on Brandon Marsh bunting down the third baseline here. He's working a lot on that this afternoon.
Blue Jays bench, they're not happy.
I'm saying that's not down.
They need to have the little strike box over in the hologram it right in front of him. Those were great calls. But from that view, everybody in each dugout watches the catcher's glove. And if the catcher's glove appears to be right there and he hits the target, they're assuming it's a strike, and it's not. Catchers are deceptive by nature. Marsh to left field. Dickerson back. Got turned around, and it's off the wall. Adele streaking for third, and he's going to get there.
What a swing for Brandon Marsh. Going the other way, so Ohtani a double to left center. That double to the wall in left field for Marsh. Boy, it's fun to watch those two run the bases. Good friends. That ball had some carry to it. Looking for his first home run.
Joe Madden today was asked if he felt Brandon Marsh was overmatched, and he said no, but he has to make some adjustments, and he's worked all day with Jeremy Reed and the hitting group on those adjustments. The question is, can a young hitter make the adjustment? And that's a pretty nice first step.
Yeah, he just let that baseball get a little deeper in the strike zone and crushed it to left.
Now Suzuki, infield's back. An out can produce a run. Something the Angels were unable to do back in the first.
Well, you know what he's trying to do. He runs a fastball in to try to get the fastball in the handle of the bat that make you pop it up, and then try to expand with his curveball. So they're giving you a run on a ground ball to your middle infielders. If it gets by Berrios, who feels his position very, very well, it's a run. That's what you got to be thinking of if you're Kurt Suzuki.
If you want to get greedy, if it's to the right side, you could get a run and a runner over. But right now, it's just protected 0-2.
And then Shohei Ohtani on deck, depending on how this at bat goes. There's an open base there. I would be shocked if they pitched to Shohei Ohtani. And how often would you see a starting pitcher get intentionally walked?
So 0-2. And up and in.
I think this is a veteran player, a veteran catcher, Kurt Suzuki. He knows exactly what his game plan is trying to be. He's not thinking, I want a 3-run home run or even a base hit. I'm thinking, I'm getting this run home by making some contact.
Out to center. Grichuk on the run. Adele tags. There's the catch. Coming home. Strong throw. And he's by him.
And job done by the veteran. Kurt Suzuki. That's a pretty good throw by Grichuk out in right center field. Got behind that baseball very well. And on the line, it's too fast. Joe Adele showing that speed, those strides. Slides in there, getting that hand in there. Avoiding the tag.
Sweet slide. And now Ohtani. First base is open, but it's early in the game, and you've got great speed at second base as well. Ohtani's moped a double into the gap in left center field in his first at bat. One behind Reggie Jackson, the Angels' left-handed record. 2019, they squared off in Minnesota.
Look how far that is. Wow, over both bullpens. It's a 4-11 sign. Left center at target field. That was a fastball. So a couple change-ups. Sometimes when you try to be too perfect on the mound, you start aiming pitches, and that is when you make a mistake. And against Shohei Ohtani, that's going to be a tough one if you make a mistake pitch.
25 doubles, 38 home runs. Oof.
Took a little bit more so off his changeup. So he's changed speeds on his changeup.
A run across, 1 out. Berrios to Ohtani.
Boy, a lot of traffic against Berrios. You would love to see some more runs scored. Shohei Ohtani trying to provide some run support for himself.
Approaching 40 pitches already. Marsh can really run. 3-1. Just the reaction of the crowd is awesome. That's why we're all here, right?
That's not quite the middle of the field approach. That's like out of the entire stadium approach. That's the kind of swing you take at the long drive contest at a golf tournament.
See if he dials it back a bit on 3-2. It's in.
Taking a walk again.
Really good at that, and a really good sign for Ohtani. And now Fletcher with 1 out and 2 on.
With outstanding speed on the bases for the Angels here now.
You talk about traffic. The Angels, 10 hitters have come to the plate. 3 walks, 3 hits, 2 of them doubles. And right now, they have just the 1 run to show, but Fletcher can change that.
55th walk this year for Shohei Ohtani. And if you're going to have a shot, if you want to try this, steal one, double steal. A little easier to do that because Shohei will get a bigger lead at first base. The same thing with Brandon Marsh at second. The trail runner, Ohtani's got to wait, see if Marsh would go. Trying to be creative against a very good pitcher. You might want to take a shot.
And Berrios steps off. Ryan Butterfield, who has an aggressive position nearly in the Angels dugout. He wants to be an optimal view for a runner coming around third.
And not quite as crisp in the strike zone today for Berrios, so you have to take advantage of that. Don't let him settle in.
Fletcher 3 hits in the series. And Brian Butterfield just walked off the field. I'm not sure what's happened. Joe Madden is coming over. And now the home plate umpire, J.R. Valentine, and Hickox is the crew chief. And so Joe Madden is out to talk to him. I don't know that there was a problem with where he was standing. He's been there all year.
What they may do is may have to put someone else in the third base coach's box.
Charlie Montoyo is coming out of the Blue Jays dugout. He wants to know what's up as well. There's a possibility that he's ill. He did walk out on his own power.
Mike Gallego, bench coach, is going to have Matt.
He had to put a jersey on. You can't coach bases if you don't have a jersey. And so, quick change, and Gallego, who's in the very same spot, takes over.
Thinking, you know, there's a lot of speed on the bases here right now with Brandon Marsh and Shohei Ohtani, and baseball into the outfield. I better be loose. Boy, still a tough field for his pitches.
Angels are doing a great job of running this pitch count up. Next will be 43. And even Fletcher, who's ultra aggressive, is in front 2-0.
Good take.
No swing.
Boy, this is a big pitch right now for Fletch and the Angels. Out of the strike zone, loading the bases up here. Fletch clearly held up. Not easy to walk, Fletch.
No, it's not. He had a 12-pitch walk last night. That's a strike.
And it's 20 walks on the season, and that's covering 462 when you count that as a plate appearance. So there's quite a few at bats. This might be a good action at bat too. Good pitch to maybe move for Marsh and Ohtani.
3-1. That's way out. Fletcher to first, loads the bases. And here comes Walsh. David Fletcher. This was an epic at bat last night.
Yeah, he goes a fastball away. Fastball he fouled off. Then did not go after a breaker ball. Fouled off another fastball. Fouled off another fastball. Took a pitch just off the plate. Fouled off another fastball. Another fastball upstairs. Slider just below the strike zone. Another fastball from Fletch. Another fastball upstairs. And you know you're not feeling good as a pitcher because you know at some point you're going to make a mistake, and that was out of the zone. As Fletch worked a walk last night. It's Alec Manoah, who was outstanding last night. But what an at-bat that was, and what an at-bat that was right here for Fletch, giving Jared Walsh another opportunity with guys in scoring position. A big at-bat right now.
That was a well over 5-minute AB. And here is Walsh. This is very un-Berrios-like. He's only had 2 starts all year out of 22 where he's walked more than 3. And he's walked 4 here already. Bags are loaded. Walsh in the box. That's going to get fouled.
He had 3 walks in this inning alone. And a double. That's why you have to score more than 1 run here. You have to.
Walsh was the first of the 3 infield pop-ups that allowed the Blue Jays to escape the bottom of the first.
Well, his command of his fastball has not been there. And that's unusual. His 33 walks, 139 strikeouts coming into the game. With 16 of 30 strikes on his fastball, just a little bit over 50%.
Up the middle, into center. Marsh scores. Ohtani scores. Fletcher to third. 3-0.
That's Walsh, the all-star, right back up the middle, driving in 2. Give him now 69 RBI on the season. Capitalizing on those walks and a good swing. Not trying to pull it, goes right back up the middle on the line. Jared Walsh, huge at bat, clutch hit.
Always a need for more.
Is that this bunt scenario now for Joe Madden?
Joe Madden loves it, first and third, and especially after something big happens. There's a ground ball pulled foul. One dynamic here as well, and it's, I know, look, this is the big leagues. Berrios is an accomplished starter, 2-time All-Star. Pete Walker is a great pitching coach for the Blue Jays. But he's only made 2 starts for this team. And when a pitcher goes off the rails, usually it's the pitching coach that's been with them for a long time, knows exactly how to get him back on.
Pete Walker, though, is an excellent pitching coach.
Yes, absolutely. Field back for 2. Berrios with that big breaking ball misses away.
We showed back in our StatCast 3D how many chases, how many strikeouts he gets with his curveball well out of the strike zone. I said that's a good take. And Phil Gosselin, that's a sharp break.
Berrios can be a swing and miss guy, but he's had only 1 swing and miss all night.
That's another curveball that's flattened out right in the middle of the plate. Got away with it. You see him shaking his head going back for the pitching rubber.
And for the Angels, this inning, they're happy just for this inning to go on and on, because Ohtani's been around the bases twice already, and it gives him a chance to sit down, gather his thoughts. Blue Jays bullpen active. Gosselin fights that pitch off.
Tried to bring his hands in enough to make good contact. That's a tough pitch to deal with. Berrios is trying to pop him up in the infield.
Finds a hit. Another run. Fletcher scores.
That's a real good piece of hitting. He's going the other way. Battled throughout that at bat. Went with the pitch. Phil Gosselin getting it done. Let that baseball get almost towards the middle of the plate and has punched it to right field for an RBI single.
Now Upton, he popped out back in the first. Walsh at second, Gosselin at first. Upton takes breaking ball, McGuire's throw, safe, close.
That's a smart catcher. You know your pitcher's struggling. You're trying to find a way to get it out. And back pick at first. The Jays are looking at that. Decide not to challenge. Real close. Just got the tag a little bit further up on the leg as Gosselin got his foot on the bag.
Outside corner. A ball and a strike. Up the middle, Berrios out there, Simeon out there. But the Angels hang a 4th spot on the Blue Jays in the second.
This question is for Carlos Pena. Carlos, for the record, where did your signature term, placata, come from?
Placata is just an expression my brothers and I used when we were kids. It means good, solid contact, usually resulting in a home run. Placata. So if you go deep, it means you just went placata.
The analyst of MLB Tonight, answering baseball's toughest questions. Only on MLB Network.
Placata.
Shohei Ohtani, the pitcher, now with a 4-0 lead, top of the third inning at home. Richie talked about this, that ERA keeps going down. This is beginning the night, 1.79, the comforts of home. Also, no walks now to right-handed batters in quite a while, over 60 plate appearances, including tonight's, and then 110. 110 is the opposing slugging percentage when Shohei Ohtani is ahead. Gooby, that doesn't vary from anybody, whether you throw 95, 105, or 85. Working ahead is key.
Yeah, working ahead and having an assortment of pitches you can go to, whether it's your fastball, your cut fastball, your slider, your splitter, even an occasional curveball that drops in there around 68 to 71.
And quickly, Gooby, I mean, the impression of him not walking people that's pretty amazing.
I think that cut fastball has really got him back into throwing consistent strikes with his fastball.
Hey, Jose, what was Ohtani's routine like when he came off the bases for the second time before he came back out?
I think he was looking outside to see, make sure that they're buying time for him, taking the field. Got to use some of that National League strategy, right?
Yes. Check swing on a 1-1 pitch that dribbles away from the plate. No swing. Santiago Espinal, Reese McGuire, George Springer. Blue Jays showed certainly last night that 4 runs for this offense is not a huge challenge. Against Ohtani, though, that's a different deal. The Angels have given him 4 or more runs of support 9 times. And they are 9-0 when they do that.
Always want to get that first batter of the inning, and just go ahead and challenge him here with a fastball or cut fastball. Get back in the count. There's that cutter. He can really command the strike zone with his cut fastball.
There was a time where it was thought in baseball that throwing a cutter and a fastball, the cutter would lessen the velocity and the effectiveness of a fastball, but it seems like more guys are doing it again.
You look what Shohei Ohtani has to do. When you look at what he's done in his last 4 starts and using those secondary pitches. His slider 22%, 11 strikeouts, cutter 19%. It's an .059 opponent's batting average. And his splitter has dropped down to 10% usage. Still 4 strikeouts and no hits allowed. So he's been using those pitches a little bit different. It was a completely opposite earlier in the season. A lot more splitters. Slider's been a lot more effective.
Reese McGuire, left-handed hitting catcher. Infield plays him to pull. Why was there a movement to take cutters away from guys that had really great fastballs?
I think you just kind of, a lot of times, it's the blanket statement, because you saw like John Lester losing velocity on his fastball because he kept throwing so many cutters. But Shohei Ohtani has such a feel for pitching. It has not affected him as far as how hard he's throwing. He still has that in him. He just doesn't have to throw it as hard throughout the entire game because he has that cutter to get back into counts and get quicker outs, saving that 96 to 99, maybe 100-mile-an-hour fastball when he needs it, especially with guys on base.
18% of his pitches tonight have been cutters. Springer's on deck, McGuire at the plate, and Espinal at first. Ground ball, Fletch to his left. Oh, gorgeous footwork to get the out. Never easy when you're going away from the bag.
Off the bat, I'm thinking, you know what, just get that out of first base, but such a great athlete at second base. David Fletcher gets to that baseball, spins around, and makes a very good throw. Iglesias, knowing you're not going to get a double play, you're just trying to get that force out to keep a double play in order. And Shohei Ohtani loving that play by Fletch, all in one motion. What a play.
I like it. Springer struck out back in the first.
And Springer will roll into some double plays. Rolling into a couple already in this series.
11 home runs since the All-Star break. And as a leadoff hitter, we talked about it last night, in that role, he has really flourished.
He's hit a lot of cutters tonight.
Multi-homer games since 1901 by leadoff hitters. That's amazing that wait a minute, Ricky Henderson's not on that list.
For multi-home run games, he was always just leading off the game, and that was good enough for Ricky. And then he would go back to stealing bases.
That one is popped out of play. We expect certainly the reaction when the Astros are here to be similar to Springer. And actually, most of the Astros stuff is here. At about 3 o'clock, the equipment bags of the Astros were being carted into the ballpark because the series opens tomorrow night. Just low.
That was a nasty splitter. Remember, he got him to chase the splitter his first at bat. That felt like that was an even better splitter. Always start with the splitter grip and bring the fingers together depending on what pitch he's going to throw. Back-to-back splits. So he's thrown 3 splitters tonight to George Springer. 1 a strikeout, 2 pretty good ones here in this at bat.
That pitch, the splitter, has long been a dominant pitch in Japan. In the big leagues in Japan, you see a lot of those. Just popped out of the glove of Suzuki.
And Kurt Suzuki is upset too. He wanted to be able to hold on to that 97-mile-an-hour fastball right down the heart of the plate. It's almost as if Shohei Ohtani's pointing in and thinking, okay, this is what pitch we're going to go with now. Because we have him thinking fastballs. Do you think it's splitter? Was he trying to get him on a cutter?
Breaking ball on a hop. Goslin, Fletcher turn, double play. Shohei Ohtani.
You didn't see me, but I was there. I've been part of every rivalry, every dynasty, every game, set, match. I've been on the backs of champions, smashed world records, and I was even there for your personal best. I am synthetic fabric, and I am made from crude oil.
Nerds! Oh, thanks. Let's go. I can.
No, I got it.
Sweet unholy cobalt. Is Brad's car better than mine? Better sign-up bonus? Better travel perks? Is that how Brad took that trip to Barcelona? Wait, Barcelona? Barcelona?
Steve, I got it on NerdWallet.
Ah. You said all that out loud.
Want a better credit card? We've got you. From the best rates to the best rewards, for all your credit card questions, turn to the nerds.
Bottom of the third, 4-0. Angels on top of the Blue Jays. Shohei Ohtani has been splendid tonight. The offense has been terrific.
I love what he did there. He says, think about this, because he threw a couple splitters and a fastball, and he looked at Kurt Suzuki. Think about what, okay, what we're going to go with. He throws a slider, and he gets a ground ball double play.
Iglesias into right field. And that opens the third. for the Angels.
I mean, Shohei's is thinking along right with Kurt Suzuki. He goes, okay, he fouled off a splitter. He fouled off a fastball. And he's pointing his head, okay, let's go with my next pitch to get a ground ball or a strikeout, and he gets a double play with it.
So how much does it help Ohtani that he's an all-star caliber hitter and pitcher?
We talked about that on the pregame show. I firmly believe he's a much better pitcher this season because he's hitting and pitching in the same game, because he's up there thinking, okay, what would I be looking at? I've already fouled off a split. I fouled off a fastball. I got to try another pitch, because that's what I would be looking for as a hitter. So he tried that as a pitcher, and he gets a ground ball double play.
The at-bats just keep getting better for Joe Adell. He looks great in the outfield. Much better plate discipline. He walked and scored in the second.
By the way, there's some pretty good at-bats against Berrios today. Base hit the other way for Iglesias. Base hit the other way for Gosselin. Double the left center by Ohtani. Double the left by Brandon Marsh today. So, and up the middle for Jared Walsh. So good swings. Big part of the field going the other way against a premier pitcher with a great arm. That's what you have to try to do against him to be successful. He hasn't been as crisp with the strike zone. So you got to take advantage and not try to pull everything.
Welcome back. Brian Butterfield back in. Mike Gallego gave Matt Wise his jersey back and went and got his own. Runner goes, hit and run, and a little tapper foul.
Welcome back Cotter, it's welcome back Butterfield.
That's right. A lot of times coaches will, just wear a top and not have a jersey on. But to coach out on the field, you have to have that jersey on. That's why Gallego had to grab the closest jersey he could find, which was on Matt Wise. Foul tip and held by McGuire, and strikeout of Adell. Here comes Marsh.
We run a fastball at 92. That's just the fourth swing and miss combined between Berrios and Ohtani tonight. Coming into game, 139 strikeouts for Berrios, 106 for Ohtani.
We told you earlier tonight that Brandon Marsh had been working most of the afternoon and through batting practice on a swing adjustment with Jeremy Reed and the rest of the hitting coaches. John Maley part of that group as well. And he hammered a double to left field. Ball that almost got out, and for a moment you thought he'd hit his first major league home run.
Well, Jeremy Reed really takes this to heart. He wants to see Brandon Marsh get consistent because he has a firm belief he is going to be a very good hitter at the major league level. Just has to have trust and confidence.
Up the middle, shift is on. They're only going to get the out at first. Because of the shift, the infield scrambled and nobody was at second base. This is a quick word from the Home Depot.
Join the Home Depot Pro Extra program that saves you time and gets you rewarded. Keeping score has never been easier.
That play could be significant now. You still have a runner in scoring position. A base hit could bring another run across instead of having a force out at second base.
Look at the number of games for Kurt Suzuki. He's had a tremendous career, and he blasts that one to left, but it's hooking. And it's foul.
Boy, I thought he hit it hard enough, but it would have a chance to get right against that foul pole. Let's get it inside it. Just went foul.
15th big league season for Kurt Suzuki. Oakland to start with. Washington for a while, back to Oakland, Minnesota, Atlanta, the Nationals where he was a world champion. That is a fair ball. Into the corner it goes. Iglesias around third. And he'll score. And Suzuki makes it 5-0.
Second RBI of the night for Kurt Suzuki. Sac fly, first at bat, RBI double, second at bat.
And to your point, the shift will take something away, but this time it bit the Blue Jays.
Because that would have been really a tough play to score all the way around from first. Coach Dickerson got there pretty quickly on that one. But easy able to cruise in there. Jose Iglesias because he was at second base. Job by Kurt Suzuki.
And it gives Ohtani another look at Berrios. He has doubled, walked, and scored. And this is still the third inning.
Well, he has been a busy man already today. 3 innings pitched, 3 at-bats. And on the bases both times.
He has spent probably about 10 minutes on the bases. Because remember, he doubled to lead off that first and never scored, but was out there the whole time. Trent Thornton, who's been on and off the roster for the Blue Jays. Warming up. But not too deep. Big run for the Angels. They add on, and it's 5-0.
I was super nervous to have this conversation about experiencing erectile dysfunction. I didn't want her to think for a single second that it had anything to do with how much I loved her, how beautiful I think she is, because it couldn't have been further from the truth. And what started as a conversation that I was super nervous to have ended up being one that I couldn't be more grateful that we did. It just unlocked a whole new level of trust and intimacy. Just be super open, super honest, and it's gonna be an amazing conversation.
It's not just because Boll & Branch organic cotton sheets are incredibly soft. They are. And it's not just that they're free from toxins and made by people who are paid and treated fairly. That's true too. It's because home is where the magic happens. And with better sheets made in safer ways, home makes the world a better place. Boll & Branch. Right now, get 20% off your purchase at bollandbranch.com.
Angels Baseball on Valley Sports is brought to you by Hyundai. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is going on now with summer-only savings on all models. Visit buyhyundai.com today. By Jack in the Box, try our new 350 Spicy Tiny Tacos and our 450 Loaded Spicy Tiny Tacos, only at Jack in the Box. And by your Southern California Cadillac dealers. 5-0 Angels. Down below, Jose Mota. Jose?
Hey, very interesting, Rich. You had asked me about what Shohei Ohtani was like when he was on base first inning and what did the teammates do. I said, well, you take some of the National League strategy. So look at Shohei. He's quite what are. He's been busy. Now look at his teammates. Everybody's pretty much just waiting around. Remember, the third out has been made already. and they're just buying time, looking at their leader. Nobody's in a rush. Walsh was the first guy out there, and then after that, it's like, okay, Band Brothers, let's get out there. But we gave him enough time to go out there and pick up a couple of extra breaths.
That's like the reverse of a pit crew in a motor race, right? They're trying to get in and out. Everybody here is just trying to slow it down, make sure he's ready, and out he goes.
And Kurt Suzuki, being the veteran catcher, was taking a while to put the catching gear on. That's a smart man.
5-0 ball game. Simeon, Vlad Jr., Teoscar Hernandez. Simeon lined to third, his first time up.
Boy, a couple fastballs. Oh, that's a pretty good fastball. That one got the lower part of the strike zone.
Ohtani, 3 innings, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout.
He's going after him with 3 fastballs in a row, and Marcus Simeon hits a fastball as well as anybody. 22 home runs versus fastball, 86 hits versus fastballs. This time maybe he goes his cutter.
And fouls at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A home run hitter, Shohei Ohtani. Of course, tonight, the Blue Jays, such a ferocious lineup, including another MVP candidate. Whoa, that's up.
Usually when you see a pitch elevated like that, it's a splitter. And get on top of that splitter, drops his wrist.
The walk was to Espinal in the third. He was erased on a double play. The single was by Vlad Jr. That was in the first. Look out, Gooby.
I know when the baseball was hit out against me, and I know when the baseball is not going to hit me up here, too.
Protect that pitching hand. And that's outside. Well, tonight, the Field of Dreams game was just incredible. And it's over. Tim Anderson has hit a walk-off homer, and the White Sox have beaten the Yankees. Both teams, when they came out on the field here, were watching the scoreboard and oohing and awing at the shots of players coming out of the cornfield and just that setting in Iowa.
Kevin Costner there too.
Oh, Kevin Costner walked out of the corn. It was spectacular. If you're just joining us here, this is such a unique matchup. The Angels are on top by a score of 5-0. MVP candidate there and an MVP candidate at the plate, facing each other.
Yeah, this turns into the Field of Dreams right now. These two, this matchup, and a wild pitch from Ohtani.
All right, this sort of Field of Dreams. I mean, Babe Ruth against Tilly Walker. Who could forget that back in 1918? Ohtani and Jose Ramirez. Matt Birch of the Angels Research Department providing that.
Couple leadoff walks, back-to-back innings for Ohtani. Minus 1 walk in 26 innings coming into the game.
Ohtani already has 3 at-bats in this game, and it's the top of the 4th. He's hitting leadoff for the Angels.
That's a pretty good pitch.
Suzuki didn't catch it. A lot of umpires wouldn't call it. But J.R. Valentine's had a pretty good night. I don't know that Tilly Walker ever fulfilled his promise and turned into a Vlad Jr. or an Ohtani. That Ruth guy did pretty well.
Yeah, he was all right. And he's asking right now if that's a strike. As a pitcher, when you see a batter asking the home plate umpire if it's a strike or not, that's a good feeling. So now you expand the strike zone and get him to swing at a non-strike. Hasn't had a ton of swing and misses yet. This could be the time.
Almost hit him.
Again, another splitter. A little quick on it.
Teoscar Hernandez is on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's 2 swing and misses on a splitter and a cutter the entire game for Ohtani.
Got him.
Good slider on that one. Make that 3 swing and misses. So he's got a swing and miss on a cutter, splitter, and now a slider. That creativity from Shohei Ohtani. That is a nasty late break to a slider. To get a dynamic hitter to swing and miss. And he was looking to go to right.
Teoscar Hernandez, whose grand slam really cracked the game open last night. The Blue Jays have won 2 of the 3. This is game 4. Hernandez, his career arc just keeps going up and up and up.
Well, that pitch right there, that looked like it hurt Kurt Suzuki's wrist trying to reach across and catch a fastball that far off the plate when you're anticipating on the inner half.
Pop up. That's going to get out of play. If you're thinking about, okay, so MVP race here, who is the odds-on favorite? If you followed the Angels, you know, Joe Madden has spent a good part of the last 2 months saying it's really not a contest. My guy is one of the best pitchers in the league and maybe the best hitter in the league. And this guy is just having an incredible season offensively. His numbers, he and Ohtani have traded places in slugging percentage. Ohtani leads in home runs. You can get odds in Las Vegas on just about everything, but the odds on the MVP race in the American League favor Ohtani.
Well, there was a lot of pressure coming up to the major leagues for Vlad Jr. Everyone was expecting to be so good and dynamic. And there was some bright spots, but there was some struggles. But he's really put it together this year, showing some patience, and he is crushing the baseball. 5.0 WAR compared to 6.8 for Shohei Ohtani. Slugging percentage, close, home runs right next to each other. OPS the same. That's a little bit off the plate. He's been really, really consistent behind the plate. Valentine has been really good. And there's a few pitches where everyone's oohing and ahhing thinking they're strikes. They're just a little bit off the plate. 58 pitches, 34 strikes. It's a tough spot right now with a hitter like this in a 3-1 count.
Ground ball through the hole, into left, and around third, coming home is Simeon. First run for the Blue Jays. 7th run driven in for Hernandez in this series.
Both infielders trying to keep that ball in the infield. Good effort by Gosselin and Iglesias. That leadoff walk comes around to score. A couple walks versus right-handed batters, something he hasn't done in a long, long time.
By the way, that Tim Anderson walk-off against the Yankees means that the Blue Jays and the Yankees are both 2 games back of the wild card right now. Dickerson, a swing and a miss. Oakland has the first wild card in the American League. Boston is 2 back of Oakland. Seattle's 4.5 back. Angels 8 back after losing 2 to the Blue Jays. Angels won the first game of the series. 1 game under for the Angels.
Angry fastballs in a row for Shohei Ohtani. 97-96. Didn't like the fact that he walked the leadoff batter.
How many angry fastballs a game did you average in your career?
Well, this look how many fastballs I threw in the game.
They were all angry.
They were all angry. That's why I was looking at Alek Manoah last night. Every one of his pitches, they were angry fastballs.
He is a terrifying starter with a bright future. 0-2.
And another fastball. 97. You think now if he can just stay back a little bit longer in his delivery, splitter would work really good now. It's 3 of his best fastballs, velocity-wise, in the game.
That's foul. The composure that Ohtani has as a hitter and a pitcher is pretty amazing. He doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too angry. Joe Madden talked about that today and said in the clubhouse, he's the perfect guy in the clubhouse. He is curious. He is upbeat. He's friendly. He really supports his teammates. He's all about the team doing well. A chase. Suzuki digs it. That was close. Dickerson strikes out.
And the chase is splitter.
Grichuk now. Hernandez
stayed on the base all the way through his slide.
Takes the base. Grichuk fly ball to center. Back in the second.
Grichuk very aggressive on the first pitch.
And a strike. Ohtani's pitch count is, somewhat high. This is the 4th inning, and he's at 65 pitches. He threw 86 pitches in 6 innings in his last start. His highest pitch count this year, 105, and he's had 3 7-inning starts this year. That's hit pretty well, and that's in the gap. That's going to chase home a run. Teoscar Hernandez has scored. Grichuk has an RBI double. And the Blue Jays have pushed across 2 here in the 4th.
It's a great swing. Fastball away. Allowing Ohtani to provide the power, and Grichuk drives that right center. 19th double, 70th RBI in the season. Just like that, the Jays working their way back in this game against Shohei Ohtani.
One transaction today that could affect this game. Steve Cishek is back from bereavement. Whether he's ready to pitch or not might be a question. Joe Madden said he's going to get down into the bullpen, throw a little bit just to loosen up Been away from the club for a few days. Valera hit that sinking liner into right center. Joe Adele made a sliding, diving catch on. Upton is there, makes the catch. Blue Jays get to Ohtani for 2, 5-2 Angels.
Just push it down the third base line and end up at first base.
Relax and watch High Heat with Christopher Russo, only on MLB Network.
The ballpark is better when we're all here together. COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Join the team and help us all get back to doing what we love together.
Bet tomorrow at the Big A, Angels and Astros, 6:30 start. First 14,000 fans get a Hawaiian shirt courtesy of Interactive Mortgage. Angels.com/promotions. That guy has been probably on Angels.com/promotions all year. He's got a shirt. Look at this. That's probably a giveaway cap.
He's got the vintage Shohei Ohtani t-shirt underneath it.
And one of the Hawaiian shirts above. That's pretty impressive. Lourdes Gurriel has come in to left field. Corey Dickerson is out. I'll try to get word on his status. David Fletcher, Jared Walsh, Phil Goslin, bottom 4. Jose Berrios has had a rough night so far. Over the glove, Simeon charges, quick throw, got him. Speaking of quick, now a word from Kia.
It's summer, so wherever you get out and go, you can count on the Kia to take you there.
You really get a feeling that this game is a long way from over.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight one. You're looking for the offense to respond back, and here Walsh with a great swing, driving in 2 with a single back up the middle. His last at bat.
Berrios pitch count at 72. Ohtani at 68.
The interesting thing with Charlie Montoya has trust in Berrios. That's why you see him back out there. He feels it. All right, his offense got him a couple runs. He has that feeling that maybe he gets to that next level, feeling he's part of the game now. Only down by 3.
Used to seeing Berrios have maybe 1 or 2 walks and 6 or 7 or 8 strikeouts, but the numbers are flipped here. 4 walks, 1 strikeout, 5 runs, 7 hits, 3 1/3.
The Angels have been pretty good against him in this career. 2-3 with a 4.66 ERA. The interesting thing for the Jays today, and then when you see Gurriel going out in the outfield, 3 hits by the Jays, all by right-handed batters. And coming into the game, Shohei Ohtani, right-handed batters, is their 148 batting average against him. It's compared to 227 for lefties.
Walsh fouls that pitch back. Just before he got hurt, Jared Walsh was getting back to what Jeremy Reed said he really needed to, and that is being direct to the baseball. Not pulling everything. The ball's on the outside part, pound it into the gap left center. Direct to the baseball. And he certainly was in the second. He drilled a ball up the middle that drove home 2. It's a nice play from a fan wearing, I believe that's a Paul Sorrento jersey. That's
bring the first baseman's mitt.
Yeah, swing and a miss. Ball strikes out, and Berrios suddenly looks like himself again.
Get his front shoulder in there and driving towards the way. That's his vintage curveball. Jared Walsh out in front of that one.
Oakland beat Cleveland 17-0. So the A's still holding on to that wild card spot. Houston did not play today. We told you that their equipment was in action as it arrived here in the afternoon for tomorrow night's series opener, a 3-game weekend series. Goslin punched a single into right to drive in a run in the second, walked in the first.
Interesting to see Matt Weiss having a quick conversation with Shohei Ohtani in the dugout. With a couple things he's going to try to do a little bit better, especially the leadoff batter.
Count 0-2. Seattle won. They beat Texas 3-1. Try to stop their slide.
By the way, you can see how hot of a night it is. Not only you're out there pitching and competing against a very good lineup in the Toronto Blue Jays, you have at 3 at-bats already on the base a couple times.
Berrios goes 1-2-3. It's the first time he's done that tonight.
Rated E for everyone. Time now for Coors Light beating the pressure. Percentage of strikes thrown. July and August, the pressure's been tighter, and he's been better.
He's faced some really good lineups in the stretch. 65% strikes tonight so far. It's a big inning for Ohtani. A really big inning. 8, 9, and then 1 coming up for the Jays.
And that one is George Springer, who homered twice last night.
This is Espinal. He walked in the third. Reese McGuire, the 9-hitter, the catcher. Springer is the DH tonight. Bo Bichette not in the lineup for the second night in a row. And Dickerson has come out of the game for Gurriel. Gurriel now in the 5 spot in Toronto's lineup. Lined, foul. Speaking of facing someone, today Detroit beat Baltimore 6-4. Miguel Cabrera did not play in that game. The Tigers go home and have a weekend series against Cleveland. Cabrera sitting on $4.99. If he doesn't hit it by Sunday, day off Monday, Angels, Tigers Tuesday in Detroit.
Oof. We got that call. Looked like it was above the strike zone.
J.R. Valentine has had a really good zone tonight. He has a little bit of a delayed call. And hitters, oftentimes the umpire will say something first and then go into their Leslie Nielsen routine.
Good slider. Good adjustment. Going into moonwalk after a strike. There you go.
You got to let the hitter know, though. You can't do the Tim McClellan, who's an old timer.
Yeah, I remember that very well.
Who just kind of waited and delayed.
Yeah, I remember looking in and going, and he's looking back. I called it a strike. I said, well, I've been to too many rock concerts. I can't quite hear you saying strike. I'm waiting for that hand to move up. There's that slow curveball. And it's vintage Shohei Ohtani bringing that pitch in the 5th inning after 74 pitches.
It's amazing that on pitch number 74, he throws something that he hasn't thrown all night.
And he's confident enough to throw it. It's a really cool giveaway, the Pride Night hat. Saw on the stands. Really, really cool hat. Really cool hat.
Very sweet.
It's a pretty good take. A cutter just below the strike zone.
McGuire pulled that ball in the hole between first and second. David Fletcher made the terrific play to get an out at second. Out of play. Ohtani looking for win number 7, trying to go to 7-1. "15 starts in his career on this mound. His ERA is 2.16. Center field, Marsh there, makes the catch.
Good job getting back in there, forcing to hit the baseball. Went 94 fastball. And gets a line drive to center. Gets the out. And Springer gets a plate appearance with no one on. And we're not booing for Lou Piniella.
It was from it was a great line by Howard Cosell during his baseball days in one of those Yankees Royals rumbles. And I believe it was in Kansas City. Piniella had been in a brawl, I think, that year. And they came to the plate and they were booing him. And they said, they're not saying Lou, they're booing.
What a wise decision by Shohei to throw a slide a little bit off the plate, by the way. He got a borderline pitch, looked like it was off the plate, called a strike. See if he get a hitter frustrated, not having a good feel for the strike zone against Ohtani to chase, but Springer didn't do it.
Springer struck out in the first, bounced into a double play as well. Chases.
Remember, he got a strikeout on a splitter against him. He got a ground ball double play on a cutter against him. That was a cutter there.
It's out.
98.
Simeon, a dangerous hitter on deck. 2-2 to Springer. And he's cutting it loose right now. 97 there. May have overthrown a bit as he a little off balance on the delivery.
Springer 4 for 8 against Ohtani in his career. 3-2 count. Took a little bit off on a slider. That's a pretty good hack on a slider off the plate. Boy, if he wanted to, and you know he has so many great secondary pitches he can go to, if he could run a fastball in the inside corner, it'd be very difficult for Springer to make contact with it because he's looking away, away, away. Fastball, splitter, slider, cutter.
And that was a strike. Shohei Ohtani. 5-2 Angels.
Left-hander who's seen his better days against a team that's got a bunch of right-handers.
Relax and watch High Heat with Christopher Russo, only on MLB Network.
It's time for MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run, presented by MLB Network, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Give the kids in your community a chance to compete in the 2021 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals by hosting a local competition. Sign up for free at pitchhitrun.com.
Every Saturday night home game at the Big A post-game fireworks show. Angels.com/promotions. Saturday, 6 o'clock. Angels Astros. Jaime Barria and Luis Garcia going for the Astros. Here, a good one, a 5-2 Angels lead. Upton in the box and a swing and a miss. And I wasn't sure we were going to see Jose Berrios in the 5th inning, the way his first 3 innings went. He's retired 4 straight, went 1-2-3 in the 4th. Upton's 0 for 2. Iglesias and Adele will follow. Vlad Jr. has had trouble with pop-ups in this series, and that one is out of his reach. Blue Jays are still kind of a work in progress defensively. Bo Bichette is getting better at shortstop. He's still young. Vladdy Jr. has improved at first base. Simeon's arrival certainly has helped the middle infield. Kevin Biggio, who's on the injured list, is a good defender and getting better as he gets older.
The thing with Biggio, they want him to settle in at third base, just play that one position. Remember, he was bouncing all over the place in the outfield and the infield. Vlad Jr. has been playing a really solid first base.
Upton feeding the fans souvenirs. It's 1-2.
Trying to get him to chase a couple fastballs above the strike zone. So far, Upton is not chased. Looking for one of those mistake curveballs that stay in the middle of the plate. See if he can drive one.
It's in. Berrios has one of the best chase rates in the game. But tonight, the A's has been very disciplined. They've gone the other way. They've gone back up the middle. They've worked deep counts. Up to the center. Grichuk.
Back to that at bat by George Springer against Shohei Ohtani. It's time for our Atlanta over above and beyond. The pitch sequence, fastball 96, got the call. He slided this a little bit off the plate at 84. And they had the cutter, got a chase on that one to Springer, and a fastball 98, a take by Springer. Another 97-mile-an-hour fastball just off the plate. Cutter going away. And then he back up cutter, frees him, catches the inside corner. He was looking away, got the cutter on the inside corner.
Jose Iglesias opened the third with a base hit. Ended up scoring on a Suzuki double. Cranks that one into the seats. And it's 0-2. Patrick Sandoval tomorrow night. Zach Greinke for the Astros. That is a fair ball. And into the corner, Iglesias racing for second. A double.
That's a good swing there from Iglesias. Going the other way, upstairs. Elevated a fastball, but it drifted at middle of the plate enough where he's able to bring his hands up and get the barrel of the bat, hit it right down in the corner for a double. 20th double of the season. Last year he had 17 in that sprint of a season, a 60-game season last year. 20 now extra base hits double-wise for Iglesias.
And that double knocks Berrios out of the game. Blue Jays go into their bullpen, and we'll be right back.
How the Angels got here with all the moves they made. They have
Meet Justin Upton. He's watching MLB Network.
Again, the lineup got deeper.
Because that's what baseball fans do.
They're deep. They're deep.
You want that home run feeling? Then step in the box and let it rip. Get ready for the Major League Baseball Junior Home Run Derby, powered by MLB Develops. Compete locally and swing your way to the 2021 Junior Home Run Derby Finals. Get your community involved by hosting a local derby. Sign up for free at jrhrd.com.
Of the trade, the approach against Berrios today, going the other way. Shohei with a double to left center, double down the line. By Marsh, base hit the other way. Line drive, opposite way twice against Berrios by Jose Iglesias. You have to have that, especially with a guy with a moving, firm fastball and a very good swing and miss curveball. You try to pull it, you're going to have a lot of ground balls in the infield. Instead, use the big part of the field and go the other way.
Just get the feeling you need to add on a little more. This game is at the halfway point. Blue Jays offense has started to perk up after 5 runs in 3 innings for the Angels. Adele from Thornton. That's a strike.
I think Joe would love that pitch back right now, being at that same pitch. Got really good power up and away.
And Adele takes high, walked and scored in the second, struck out in the third. And the breaking ball drops there for a strike. He was so impressive at Dodger Stadium. A lot of pressure, played well, excellent routes. And a couple of hits in that Walker Buehler start. A couple doubles. Fastball up.
Keeps trying to get him to chase a high fastball.
Thornton is out of University of North Carolina, 27-year-old. This is his 3rd year in the Blue Jays bullpen. He was a starter for a time back in 2019.
Tried to call timeout. He tried to do what Bo Jackson called timeout and then hit a home run against the very that same pitch. So he's trying to call time, but wasn't granted. Doesn't have to be granted. And was still ready to try to drive that one.
That right side is open. Guerrero way off the bag at first. Up the middle, off the bag and into center. Iglesias scores and Adele knocks home run number 6.
I love that enthusiasm. Adele back up the middle. Just like we talked about in our Jeep tools of the trade. Big part of the field, back up the middle, other way. Slider right up the middle, off the bag. There's not going to be a play anyhow against Joe Adele. It's going to be a hit regardless if it hits the bag. It might not score a run, but because it hits the bag, goes into the outfield and drives in an all-important add-on run here in the bottom of the 5th.
Some good signs from Brandon Marsh tonight. A double off the wall and left. That was in the 2nd, and a sharp ground ball out up the middle in the 3rd.
Well, I'll tell you what, he worked on it all day long, and he has a ton of room down the 3rd base line. He was working on bunting. He's got a lot of room on that 3rd base side.
Espinal is playing where a shortstop normally would if he was playing halfway. Well, obviously the scouting report doesn't have bunt on it for the Blue Jays. Runner goes, Adele, good jump, throw, in time. McGuire very good behind the plate, and that's a quick tag as well.
And coming into this series throwing at 30% of base throws. That is a quick transfer, pop time down to get that one down as quick as possible to get Joe Adele. First time caught this year, trying to steal a base. Boy, he got rid of that quickly.
There's your bunt. There's your bunt. Just as good as one, right? It's a little check swing and he's aboard.
And as soon as he made contact in that part of the field, you see where there's no one there. A check swing, a swinging bunt. How about that?
That was a next line one, our producer, who is a fan of every sport.
Yes, he is.
Likened that to a cricket swing. Swing and a miss. By the way, you mentioned pop time. For those of you watching that don't know what pop time is, pop time is the time the ball pops in the glove of the catcher to the time it pops in the glove of the second baseman or shortstop covering second on a stolen base.
And Major League average about 2.
Yeah,
2.0.
The leader the last 3 or 4 years has been JT Realmuto of the Phillies. To right, Hernandez settles, makes the catch. A run, a 6-2 lead, and another round of MVP candidate against MVP candidate when we return.
You didn't see me, but I was there. I've been part of every rivalry, every dynasty, every game, set, match. I've been on the backs of champions, smashed world records, and I was even there for your personal best. I am synthetic fabric, and I am made from crude oil.
Nerds! Have new money goals this year? NerdWallet can help make them happen. Like getting auto insurance to match your new 0-mile commute? We have tools for that. Want to refinance your mortgage and put those savings into the college fund? We have tips for that too. Or get a low-interest credit card for your long-awaited honeymoon? We can help you find the one. Credit card, that is. Discover and compare the smartest credit cards, mortgage lenders, and more on NerdWallet. For all your money questions, turn to the nerds.
Shohei Ohtani and the Angels on top 6-2. This has been a showdown between the two leading candidates for most valuable player in the American League, Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Ohtani.
Let's look at our place-ins presented by Frontier. The two MVP candidates going at it tonight. First time, Cutter against Vlad Jr. Gets a ground ball through the hole, picks up a base hit. Shohei Ohtani says, good swing. And Shohei Ohtani throws a nasty slider to get a swing and miss. Shohei wins round 2.
That one's hit pretty well. Marsh is over and there and makes the catch.
So here we are. Sear wins.
One pitch, one out, and here is round 3 of Ohtani on the mound. Vlad Jr. at the plate. It would be nice if Vlad would go out and pitch to Ohtani for an at-bat, but obviously that ain't going to happen. Just for kicks.
And Shohei Ohtani will be leading off the inning. Essentially the bottom of the 6th inning.
That single into left field in the first. Ohtani misses out. Would you guess last inning for Ohtani?
Yeah, because it's been a lot, it's not necessarily how many pitches, stressful pitches, and the amount of times in the batter's box, too, on a warm night.
Ohtani's already had 3 at-bats. He had 3 at-bats in the first 3 innings. Doubled, was on base for a good 15 minutes during that inning, didn't score. Walked in the second, again on base, did come around to score, and then he flied out in the third.
Got to round that slider after a cutter away. Well, if you're a baseball fan, this is a lot of fun to just settle in and watch this matchup right now. Vlad Jr. with a base hit, first at bat. Shohei Ohtani strikes him out in the second at bat.
One of the great things about a baseball game, unlike any other sporting event, is there's such a great murmur in the crowd. There's conversations going on, and when these two are going at it, those you can feel and hear those conversations coming to a pitch.
That was a wicked slider he threw.
2-2. Ooh, Ohtani
slipped on his delivery.
And there's probably like 28 guys in the dugout holding their breath.
See, he's driving. He really wants to make a perfect slider, and then that follow-through went straight down. Because when he lands, he puts a lot of weight and pressure on that landing foot and ankle. You see it spin, and then he falls down on his knee. Talk about a guy that drives, drops and drives. Pitching rubber, using that lower half of his body, creates so much energy.
2-2.
Trying to make a quick adjustment, overthrew a fastball at 99. I'm guessing slider.
Three-two. 98, and it just missed.
That's a pretty good take by Vlad Jr.
Let's watch and listen to that last pitch.
A lot of Angel fans way back in the day used to hear that grunt from Nolan Ryan back in the day here.
Yeah, that was a calling card, wasn't it? Hernandez, line drive. Gosling has it. Vladdy Jr. back to first.
This one getting 2 outs on 1 pitch in this inning. The fly ball to start the inning by Marcus Semien. Oscar Hernandez, line drive, 1 pitch. To Gosling.
All right, here is Gurriel. And you and I had this conversation a couple innings ago in terms of velocity for Ohtani. And you noted in his last 2 starts, the last pitch he threw was his hardest pitch of the game.
I think his mindset is right now, potentially this is be his last batter. And I know everyone watching home into the stadium would love to see him go deeper in the game, but quite a few pitches and stressful pitches.
There's 96 and it's up. Ohtani does lead off next inning, and you know that Joe Madden wants another at bat out of him. Angels bullpen hasn't budged. Spins one in there to get a strike. This is Gurriel's first at bat. Corey Dickerson came out of the game with some back stiffness, lower back stiffness. Another breaking ball, another strike.
So he throws him a cutter and slider to see if he stays in his pattern, where the last pitch he'll potentially throw of his outing is a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Here it comes. Breaking ball. Swung on and missed. Shohei Ohtani will lead off when we get to the bottom of the 6th.
Nerds. Have new money goals? NerdWallet can help you find the credit card to make them happen. Want to earn enough points for a weekend of fancy camping? We have options for that. Maybe have a better credit card than your older sister. We have comparison tools for that. Or find a card that lets you donate your cash back to food banks. We have tips for that too. From low rates to the best rewards, easily discover and compare the smartest credit cards. For all your money questions, turn to the nerds.
A lot can happen with a simple tell your story. Get people excited. To get connected, to share, and sell anywhere, and start making a different future. Start different at GoDaddy.com.
Shohei Ohtani leading off, bottom 6. 6-2 lead, probably done on the mound. And he gets a lefty, Kirby Snead, who made his major league debut about 3 weeks ago. University of Florida product. Ohtani takes a rip and a fastball, doubled in the first, and he smoked it into the left center gap. 112-mile-an-hour bullet. Walked and scored in the second, and then a mammoth high fly ball to center field in the third. Well, we had Vladdy Cam. Remember that early in the game? We showed Vladdy Sr. watching from home. This is Ohtani Cam.
Sitting up way up in the seats where he might potentially hit a baseball.
Pitches low and in. No matter how high you go up with Ohtani, this guy can reach it. He has shown that this year. In the series, a double, a triple, and a home run.
It's a pretty tight slider, got the call.
That's another borderline pitch that J.R. Valentine stuck.
And most times you'll see from Snead a 2-2 slider to a lefty, and might get another one here. See if Shohei can have the patience not go after it if it's out of the strike zone. If it's in the zone, be ready.
I think he was looking for it. Is that frozen?
And that was this perfect spot with a fastball when you're looking slider. I mean, you could tell just the way he took that pitch. He was thinking along as a pitcher. He was thinking, okay, I got a borderline pitch. He's going to come back with the same slider, because that's exactly what Shohei would do on the mound when he threw a pitch like that. Whether it's a cutter or a slider on the outside corner, he would go and expand a little bit further off the plate and lock himself up with a fastball.
Fletcher pops it up softly. Vladdy Jr. is there, makes the catch. Two outs in the sixth. Joe Madden looking at the card. He's got Austin Warren getting ready in the bullpen. Remember, Steve Cishek rejoined the team. Whether he's ready to jump right in, Joe wasn't quite sure this afternoon, but he is on the roster now. And here's Jared Walsh.
That big 2-run single back in the second inning, right back up the middle against Jose Berrios.
Snead, during spring training in 2020, threw the last pitch in all of baseball before play was paused for COVID. Made his major league debut at Boston.
Good thing we saw that Snead was coming in the game, but with that hair, as long as it is, it covers that name in the back of his jersey.
We've seen a lot of great hair lately. And we're not talking about 70s night when we dressed up. There was a great snapshot where, Gooby, you were in it. It was like a 3-shot of a couple players and you. Of course, there was a retro. It was Packy Naughton, right? And Brandon Marsh.
Bickford from the Dodgers.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then Gooby in all of his mullet glory back in the day. And you were hands down on social media the winner of that trio.
But Snead right now has us all covered. Even Brandon Marsh has to appreciate that hair. For Kirby Snead on the mound for the Jays.
Walsh taps it. Snead hustling to the bag, and he's going to get a base hit.
Two-hit night. Jared Walsh. Once it gets by the pitcher, it's going to be a tough play here if he's able to field that. It's going to be an off-balance throw to the pitcher, running over to cover the bag, a left-handed pitcher, so it's a longer stride over to first base.
Extends the inning. Goslin, RBI single in the second. 6 runs, 11 hits for the Angels. No errors. They've stranded 6. 2 runs, only 3 hits for the Blue Jays. No errors, and they've left 3. This has been a treat tonight. Shohei Ohtani at the plate and on the mound. 6 innings in the books for Ohtani. 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 2 runs with those 3 hits. And the Angels did damage against a really good pitcher, a two-time All-Star, Jose Berrios.
Dawson really good against left-handed pitching. In a good count now to drive a baseball. In 299, slugging 391 versus lefties.
It's gone 3-0 to Goslin. Upton is next. Astros are next tomorrow night. Patrick Sandoval, Zach Greinke.
It's the old in the neighborhood 3-0 pitch.
That was in the unincorporated area of the plate. That was even further out of town. Now a quick word from Honda.
Angels Baseball is brought to you with the help of the SoCal Honda dealers. Find them on Twitter @HelpfulHonda to see how they can help you.
Well, something going here after two were out. Walsh's little infield hit. Goslin's walk, and now Upton, who lined to center back in the fifth, has bounced into a double play and has popped out. And a strike.
And those get over sliders first pitch.
Upton a couple hits in the series. He's knocked in 2. Outfield playing him right center. Deep in center is Grichuk. Throw behind. They got him picked off. Goslin by a bunch. Vlad Jr. in a rundown. Walsh is at third and a flip to first. And Goslin is out, and he thought that Goslin is pleading his case for interference. But first base umpire Jerry Meal says no interference.
Yeah, well, he did run into him, but you can't initiate the contact. If he's in the same lane, that running lane, then it would be interference. It's a good try, though, by Goslin.
A lot can happen with a simple tell your story. Get people excited. To get connected, to share, and sell anywhere, and start making a different future. Start different at GoDaddy.com.
How the Angels got here with all the moves they made. They have a
Meet Justin Upton. He's watching MLB Network.
Again, the lineup got deeper.
Because that's what baseball fans do.
They're deep. They're deep.
It's time for MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run, presented by MLB Network, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Give the kids in your community a chance to compete in the 2021 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals by hosting a local competition. Sign up for free at pitchhitrun.com.
Cam replay. The Ryan Express, this day in Angels baseball history, 74, 19 strikeout games. Second time he did it in 1974.
That's the amazing thing. Second time, 19 strikeout game.
All right, the answer is Nolan Ryan and Shohei Ohtani. The Jeopardy question is Angel pitchers, 15 or more starts, who had 10 strikeouts per 9 innings and an ERA of under 3. Who are they? That's Nolan Ryan. And who is Shohei Ohtani?
And Shohei Ohtani with 38 home runs and 16 stolen bases.
How many home runs do you think Nolan Ryan hit in his career? Do you think he hit a couple, maybe?
I think he did.
There's a strike. Austin Warren's on the mound, and Jack Mayfield is now at third base, getting most of the night off. Warren takes over for Ohtani. Grichuk takes outside.
By the way, Nolan Ryan with 2 home runs in his career.
And probably with the Astros?
Yeah.
He would have had a shot early in his career with the Mets. Warren's had some arrival in Major League Baseball. He's been thrown right into high leverage spots, and he's responded pretty well. And he gets Grichuk.
That's a great slider off the plate. He has made his debut against the A's, and he's faced the Dodgers, now the Jays.
It's not a soft landing for a youngster to arrive in the big leagues and be thrown right into it. It's one of the things that Matt Wise and Joe Madden noticed right away, that not a whole lot bothers this kid. Valera now for the third time. Line to right, line to left. Takes a strike.
Shohei Ohtani finishing his night going 6 innings, 3 hits allowed now. Just 61 hits allowed in 92 innings pitched.
Joe Adell's out there tonight, and he makes the catch. And Ohtani, with his start, continues 2 trends that we identified at the top of the show. Number one, you take that run of starts that he's had. Number two, pitching at home, which he's just so good at home. The trends continue. That's a good thing.
And also when he makes it, he had a couple really good at-bats hitting the ball left center. And that's what you really want to see. More than likely to see him. He'll make sure he tells Joe Madden he's ready to swing the bat tomorrow against Zach Greinke and the Houston Astros.
Espinal takes outside. Warren misses away. 3 games left right now in Major League Baseball in this Field of Dreams night. And in case you missed it, Tim Anderson and the White Sox walked off on the Yankees 9-8 in the cornfield. Arizona's beating San Diego 8-3. And the Giants are shutting out Colorado. Chopper. Iglesias. Austin Warren into the ball game, looking sharp. Tonight's 7th inning stretch is brought to you by your Southern California Honda dealers.
1, 2, 3. Wake up for a full day of baseball on MLB Central, featuring an all-star lineup of hosts.
Let's rock, baby.
Teeing up baseball's biggest news and stories with a little style.
This is waiting for you right here.
Can we record that? Joined by a colorful cast of guests all season long.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does look good on camera.
You're most likely to avoid paying the dinner bill.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
The fun never stops on MLB Central. Weekday mornings, 10 Eastern, only on MLB Network.
every time he takes the field. He competes not only against the other team, but against the toughest adversary, himself. MLB Tonight, where the best outdo their best on MLB Network.
Ballpark view for the T-Mobile coverage cam. This has been a great night at the Big A. The battle between Ohtani and Vladdy Jr. The Angels against the Blue Jays. And it has not been disappointing. Ohtani was outstanding on the mound, had a big hit. Lots of drama in this game. Vladdy Jr. base hit his first time up. He's 1 for 2. Justin Upton resumes his at-bat somewhat against Kirby Snead. Upton was at the plate when Goslin was picked off first. So he gets a clean slate and a fastball that misses away. In the National League, how hot are the Brewers right now? 17-4, they clobbered the Cubs. They're a season high 24 over 500. And if Yelich gets hot, then really look out. He had 2 hits.
Well, how good has Willie Adames been for that trade with the Rays?
You could almost throw. Look, the National League MVP race is a little more convoluted. I mean, Tatis, yeah. But there's some other guys that are starting to creep up. Adames's name has kind of come in. Freddie Freeman's name.
Max Muncy, you got Bryce Harper.
Yep. Another name, Buster Posey.
Everyone keeps expecting at some point the Giants to fall off, and they've just been great.
Grichuk runs down Upton's liner. And the Giants, as we talked about last night, have absolutely pummeled Arizona, and they've done damage all year against Colorado. They're beating them 7-0 tonight. San Diego's losing 8-3 in Arizona. And you keep waiting for some team in the East to get hot and in the National League and do something.
I still think it's great for the game when you have 3 teams so close, battling all the way to the end. It's good for the game to see that. Even though no one's really running away with it, it's fun to see.
Well, it's even funner for you because the Phillies, you're a Philly native, the Phillies have a half-game lead over the Mets, and Atlanta is just a game back. Milwaukee's lead is now 8 in the Central. Giants lead is at 4.5 in the West. Iglesias takes a strike. Really nice night, as it often happens when a guy who plays every day and every inning of every day gets a day off the next day. A little spring in his step and his bat. He's 2 for 3 with a double.
It was a good night for Jose Iglesias. That day off has helped him a lot. A single, double, scored a couple runs, displayed some outstanding defense. As much as you want to play every day, every once in a while, you need that little breather as a position player.
To right. Hernandez was there. 2 balls hit hard in the 7th, both were outs. Every Sunday home game through September 5th, kids ages 3 through 13 invited to stay for Kids Run the Bases, presented by Yakult Probiotic Drink. Angels.com/promotions for more. Joe Adele came to the plate, turned around, and went back. Kirby Snead is coming out, and so are we. 6-2 Angels.
The ballpark is better when we're all here together. COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Join the team and help us all get back to doing what we love together.
Joe Adele getting a jump with an arco. Top tier play to his right, tracking the baseball, securing that baseball, landing efficiently, and celebrating with one of his best friends of the game right there in Brandon Marchand before the game. Put your time in, but this is not just from Bruce Hines, the coach, but Adam Eaton, guys. So important to have the input of a veteran, successful outfielder to drive it into the brains of the youngster. Talk about footwork, release, not about arm strength, but how to gain more on your throws and be more efficient when you throw to the bases.
Connor Overton making his major league debut. Product of Old Dominion University.
Isn't that where Justin Verlander went, right?
Not sure. Mechanicsburg, Virginia. Our researchers, though, are busily searching. You are correct. Way to go. Verlander was a first-round pick out of Old Dominion. Way to go, Gooby. Adele, little roller to the left side. Espinal across the diamond in time. And that's a nice debut for Connor Overton. 6-2 Angels.
Push it down the third base line and end up at first base.
Relax and watch High Heat with Christopher Russo. Only on MLB Network.
How the Angels got here with all the moves they made. They have a
Meet Justin Upton. He's watching MLB Network.
Again, the lineup got deeper.
Because that's what baseball fans do.
They're deep. They're deep.
No one covers the show like MLB Network.
Put a star by that one.
Turn on baseball's best with over 200 live games all season.
Oh, my goodness!
Catch live look-ins every night on MLB Tonight.
Oh, baby!
Plus breakdowns and highlights of your team, my team, every team.
And gone!
Bring home our national pastime all the time. Only on MLB Network.
Angels Baseball and Valley Sports is brought to you by your Southern California Honda dealers. Big night tonight for Shohei Ohtani. Great on the mound. Cranked a double to left center. Austin Warren into his second inning in relief. Juan Lagares replaces Upton in left. Joe Madden already made a defensive change at third base last half inning. Mayfield's now at third, replacing Goslin. This is Reese McGuire, Blue Jays catcher. That ball pulled foul.
One will throw a two-seam sinking fastball, four-seamer, a cut fastball, and a very good slider.
Austin Warren. Into left. And Lagares. McGuire out number one. You can play Home Run Blast presented by Coors Light. Pick 3 players you think will homer. If they go deep, you win cash. Go to the Valley Sports app or homerunblast.com to play.
By the way, it's almost mandatory. As soon as you come into the game, that baseball will find you. And while Lagares out in left field, first batter, fly ball his way.
Springer a hero last night. Austin Warren just filling up the strike zone right now.
Springer frustrated. That's all over the strike zone now.
Charlie Montoya's coming out.
And you can't argue balls and strikes as a manager. I mean, that was all over the strike zone.
Again, the guy behind the plate's been terrific tonight.
It was worth it taking a shot, throw that about a half a baseball or so off the plate.
Springer shoots that one out of play. We'll have to check umpire scorecards. You can follow that on Twitter or online as well. They post the umpire's results of accuracy on called balls and strikes. An average night, an umpire is 94% correct. That's an average night. You're going to miss 6% on an average night.
I'm guessing if that would have been called a strike, George Springer might have been done for the night.
I think anything close that's called a strike, he's maybe done for the night. 2-2. Didn't swing. 3-2. Simeon on deck. Springer doesn't get cheated. He's had a really nice career. Had the big World Series, was the World Series MVP in 2017. Of course, a lot of the luster has come off of that. Hit 5 home runs against the Dodgers. Sends it to center. Marsh with a running catch.
Boy, does he get great jumps out in center field. What Jose was just talking about, Marsh and Adele working with Jeter, Hines, Reeds in the outfield. Being aggressive, running down fly balls, both coming in on the baseball and going back.
Austin Warren throws a strike. Best minor league year for Warren coming in was 2019 in Double-A. He had an ERA of 2.57. Like a lot of guys, 2020 wasn't a complete loss. It was a complete loss of games, but bounced back and got to the big leagues this year, and he's been pretty darn good. This is his 6th appearance. He's allowed 3 runs. Hasn't walked anybody. 7 strikeouts.
He aggressively will attack the strike zone.
He is everywhere.
Aggressive on a fastball, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, well out in front. He hits the fastball exceptionally well. 3-2 count. I'm going slider here. We got to round that one.
And he lost him. As I told you, a lot of the players came out this afternoon. They were watching this game up on the big screen just to see the setting. Ball was jumping in Iowa, believe me. I mean, it was jumping. Aaron Judge hit a couple homers. Tim Anderson, this is a walk-off. Look at that.
That's incredible.
Look at that.
Into the cornfields. What a game that was. Just the whole atmosphere from the start of the game to the way it ended. Can't ask for any better ending. Unless you're a Yankee fan, of course.
And I love the uniforms because obviously, especially the White Sox uniforms. W.P. Kinsela's novel about Shoeless Joe was sort of the origin of that movie. And so the White Sox uniforms really resonated, and the old-timey Yankee uniforms as well.
Like there's some sort of a double switch.
Yeah, looks like Adam Eaton may be coming to this game as well. 6-2 Angels. Decide baseball's biggest blooper, and you can win your own error-free fan experience. Fill out your MLB Oops bracket at MLB.com/bracket for your chance to win. Restrictions apply. See official rules. Wasn't so easy to just call the pitcher in, but Joe Madden, since the pitcher originally was in the lineup, had to bring Adam Eaton in. He goes into the Ohtani spot, the pitcher's spot. And Raisel Iglesias is into the ball game. He ends up in Joe Adell's spot, which is 7th in the order, and made the last out.
'97. Plus fastball, changeup, white bat slider.
Vlad Jr. a single, strikeout, and a walk.
It's that changeup. Two types of changeups. One that will go straight down, one a little harder. Will fade down and into a right-handed batter, down and away a lefty. He has shown in this series he will chase a slider off the outside corner. Iglesias has a wipeout slider. That's a good take.
Upstairs. 6-2 Angels.
Mike Trout. People know he's one of the greatest players this game's ever seen.
Meet Mike Trout.
Can run.
He's watching MLB Network.
He's one of the nicest people you're ever going to meet.
Because that's what baseball fans do.
And he's also got tremendous show hair with his hat off.
Welcome to the nerd life. Welcome to the nerd life.
It's all about the numbers on MLB Now, only on MLB Network.
Welcome to the nerd life.
It's time for MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run, presented by MLB Network, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Give the kids in your community a chance to compete in the 2021 Pitch, Hit, and Run Finals by hosting a local competition. Sign up for free at pitchhitrun.com.
Okay, so a 4-run lead for the Angels, which means showtime is just 3 outs away from a win and an Angels victory, of course. Tim Salmon, Patrick O'Neill, we will be here for Angels Live postgame. Fish, you've been around this game a long time. What Shohei Ohtani is doing on both sides of the baseball physically, how does that impress you?
I mean, you know, the toll of being a power pitcher, the way you use your legs, and then to be on base twice. I mean, he started the game off with a double, and then he stood out there for the whole inning. So, and then, of course, scoring on the walk as well. So, with what, you know, he's had a game that I'm telling you, the average Major League ball player is going to wake up and feel this tomorrow. But Shohei Ohtani, he's going to be in the lineup, I'm sure.
Yep. Probably certainly wouldn't bet against it the way he's going. So let's back inside, send it back inside to Rich, Mark, and Jose. We'll see you for post, guys.
All right, thank you. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Ohtani doesn't miss a beat. Marsh sends that left field and a running, sliding catch by Lourdes Gurriel. Good at bats by Marsh. That was looked like a hit. That would have been his 3rd hit of the night.
And all 3 hits going to that part of the field. Staying back, letting the baseball travel. That tells you a lot more confidence in his hands.
Suzuki now. Productive in that 9 spot. Sacrifice fly, drove in a run in the 2nd. RBI double in the 3rd. That ended up on Moda Island. Jose, did you charge that?
Well, I think I may not do a post-game interview due to the microphone just took a knock. With serious topspin, by the way, Gooby. And good spin rate.
You know what? You preserved a perfect game before.
Hey, my good buddy Kevin Coster on TV today.
Just trying to bring it back for you there, Jose.
Jose, what did you think of that? I mean, obviously you've been in the movies, right? And that's such a great setting tonight.
It was great. All the way. The whole setup. Remember, they had to wait a full year for this, so I think overall they did a fantastic job. The uniforms, everything went together. And I got to play a lot of games in the state of Iowa. You know how special that is. America's heartland.
And Rob Manfred today announced that they are going back there next year to play. And the Angels are going to be involved in the Little League Classic coming up here pretty soon. And everybody's starting to get a buzz about that. That's pretty special as well. Suzuki, Simeon plants and throws him out. He's a really good shortstop.
And the improvements he has made defensively at shortstop, although he's played a ton of second base this year with Bo Bichette playing shortstop.
Mayfield is in the 1 spot. Eaton is in the 4 spot, and Raisel Iglesias is behind Jose Iglesias. Raisel is in the 7 spot. There'll be a quiz on that on Angels Live, which is coming up right after the game. Connor Overton making his major league debut. The count of 1-1. Jack Mayfield out of the University of Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. And the irony is he's from Texas. And was a big Longhorn fan growing up. And the first big school to call him and offer him a scholarship, Oklahoma.
That's always a fun football game.
The Red River rivalry, and he said he changed allegiances pretty quickly. He loved it. He had a great time at Oklahoma, he said. He's had a good part of the night off. Gosselin getting the start at 3rd. You know, we talked about versatility, and having Walsh back allows Joe to plug Gosselin in or Mayfield in. That especially is important on a Ohtani start on the mound, because you lose obviously your hitter, and all of a sudden anybody that comes out of the bullpen is in the batting order. Vlad Jr. has it. Angels down in the 8th, on to the night. 6-2 Halos.
Mike Trout. People know he's one of the greatest players this game's ever seen.
Meet Mike Trout.
Can run.
He's watching MLB Network.
He's one of the nicest people you're ever going to meet.
Because that's what baseball fans do.
And he's also got tremendous show hair with his hat off.
The ballpark is better when we're all here together. COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Join the team and help us all get back to doing what we love together.
Raisel Iglesias got the last out of the 8th, trying to get 3 outs in the 9th, trying to seal this win for Shohei Ohtani. Run Ohtani to 7-1. Put the Angels back at 500 for the 79th time this. No, not really. It feels like it though.
Quite a few times.
Yes. Teoscar Hernandez, and that would, if the Angels can hold this lead, split this 4-gamer right down the middle. It would be the 23rd time this year that the Angels were at 500. Foul back. We were talking earlier about the Angels and the Indians playing in the Little League Classic coming up. And that's a really cool thing. Joe Madden was there with the Cubs a couple of years ago. Just absolutely loved it. The Torrance Little League, a note I've seen, is 1 win away from themselves going to the Little League World Series. And they have a game tomorrow, so good luck to the Torrance Little League. Go get them. Wouldn't it be sweet if Joe Madden and the Angels pulled into Williamsport and you guys were there? Two balls, 2 strikes. Gurriel and Grichuk also scheduled in the 9th. Marsh has had a nice night, makes the catch.
And going back to our Hyundai key for the game tonight, no jacket required. Seen that jacket moved around quite a bit, especially yesterday. Put that on with a home run. No jacket required tonight. It's a nice, safe life for Jay's out of town. Keep that jacket nice and pressed right there. Let it hang in the dugout.
That's right. Put it back in the bag. That's a drive to left and deep and down the line. And gone. Lourdes Gurriel has homered.
I said it wasn't required. Why do you have to go out and hit one?
Now the Blue Jays are saying, do we do the jacket? I mean, we're down in the 9th. Yeah, here comes the jacket.
That's a little back-up slider.
Grichuk takes a strike. That was outside. This is Ed Hickok. Ball and a strike. Grichuk, then Valera. The Giants did finish off Colorado 7-0. Padres in Arizona are still going in Arizona. It's 10-3 Arizona in the 8th. And of course here, the great duel between Shohei Ohtani and Vlad Guerrero Jr., MVP candidates above and beyond the rest of the field in the American League. Ohtani was outstanding on the mound, 6 innings, gave up just the 2 runs. Vlad Jr. had a hit. Ohtani with a double, walked, scored a run. It was 1 for 3. His 25th double. Doesn't like it.
Yeah, that was one of the few around time where that was a little bit off the plate there. That was definitely not a strike. Richard has reason to not be happy about that one. Suzuki brought it back in the strike zone. You can see it's off the plate by at least a half a baseball.
We've mentioned it many times. He's had a really good night, but those 2 pitches on this Grichuk at bat were out. That's why every umpire gets a full report after each game on pitches he misses, so he can recalibrate for his next time behind the plate.
It's almost the exact same spot that was called a strike against Richard.
He's ruining his umpire scorecard. Dropped. Picked up. Ball game. Angels win it. Iglesias saves it. Finishes here. How good was Ohtani tonight, huh?
What a special night it was for Shohei Ohtani. The Angels, Jared Walsh, a nice game. Brandon Marsh, good game. Kurt Suzuki. Jose Iglesias back to 500. What a game, though. What energy this was at the ballpark today with Vladimir Jr. going against Shohei Ohtani on the bump today.
Our Toyota player of the game, Shohei Ohtani. And here's a peek at his night.
6 strikeouts. 5-0, 1.92 ERA at home. 1 for 3 at the plate with a double. And a walk and a run scored. What a fun game. Shohei, the creative one on the mound, creating different pitches, different arm angles. Clutch today against one of the best offenses in all of baseball. Shohei Ohtani, our Toyota player of the game.
Iglesias does not qualify for the save, but he finishes, and that's important. And the Blue Jays and the Angels split the 4-game series. Back to 500 for the 23rd time. Hello, Houston. The Astros are in for 3 starting tomorrow night, and that's a really fun matchup with Patrick Sandoval and Zach Greinke. Big night behind the plate. Kurt Suzuki is with our Jose Mota.
Thanks, Rich. It is important, obviously, relationship between pitcher and catcher, but to have offensive contributions for the guy behind the plate, how big is that for you, especially for Shohei?
Yeah, it's great. You know, obviously my #1 priority is going out there, executing a game plan with the starting pitcher and all the pitching staff that night. And anytime I can be able to contribute to the team and help the team win is a great feeling. Yes, the whole Toronto team is dangerous, but the highly anticipated matchup, Shohei against Vladdy Jr., how cool was that? It was awesome. You know, you got a premier two-way player in Shohei and one of the best players of the game in Vladdy Jr. And it was a fun matchup to be a part of, trying to go back and forth, trying to maybe mix it up and keep him off balance. But he's such a good hitter that you got to be on your game, and you know, Shohei pitched well tonight. Kurt, lastly, of the many versions you've introduced to us from Shohei Ohtani, which one did we see tonight? Oh man, he was great. He's so smart, you know. He knows how to execute a game plan. He knows how to make in-game adjustments, which is huge, especially for a young pitcher. He's a special talent, that's for sure. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, thank you. Kurt Suzuki behind the plate. Yes, calling the game.
And pairing up so nicely in between innings, all those conversations matter so much with Shohei and the rest of the guys. Stay tuned because how about we go deeper into those conversations? Patrick O'Neill will lead the way. Tim Salmon, Mark Gubicza, Rich Waltz. As we take a look at the Angels and the Jays, what a matchup, what a game, what a finish. Angels live, coming right up.